All right. We live.
Start that countdown. All right, guys. This is another weekly live stream with the Mogul Minds crew. This week we got a couple of guys on the podcast. We'll probably have a couple more hopping in. We got a few different topics that we want to get into tonight. Picasso, since you're in front of the list, if you could do us a favor and read off the list of the topics that we got to hit on tonight.
Yes,
And one that's not on there that you'll probably need to add, but it is on Instagram, so we were going to get to it either way, is women dating down. That is a conversation that we definitely want to get into, and hopefully once we got a couple guys that are a little bit older than you under 21s on here, we could really delve into it deep. But if you want to read off those topics on the side there, Picasso.
Yeah, so right now we just got a weekly recap. So we're going to recap the comedy show that we just did at the studio on the patio. That was pretty lit. We'll talk more about that. We just had a One Light concert yesterday. We'll dive more into that. And, you know, the Chauvin case, that cruel man was convicted. We're going to talk a little bit about DogeCoin for anybody who's into cryptocurrency. And then we're going to talk about the latest interview that we had with Shoplift Williams, a rapper from Detroit. And then we're going to talk about how the Black Lives Matters founders are under pressure for shady real estate purchases.
Yeah. So that, and then, you know, whatever other pop culture topics that I probably forgot because I don't really be paying attention. I live in a fucking bubble, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really be knowing nothing about none of this fucking pop culture shit. But the first thing that you mentioned on that list was we did just have, and, you know, I don't know if Tyriggs actually does or does not have a chance to hop in tonight. If anybody has WhatsApp, shoot them a message. I'm not on my computer just yet. But we did just have our Not Yet 420 comedy show. Picasso, if you could pull it up on Instagram and then screen share so people could see it. This was really like, it was an interesting thing for us because it was a lot of logistics gathering because we didn't know how this shit was going to pan out. We had it on the patio at the studio, which is at the Hermosa Office Center. We didn't know how many fucking people were going to actually show up because a ton of people didn't even buy tickets until the last like 48, 72 hours. The bulk of the tickets were sold at that point. Did you hit share sound?
I don't know if I hit share sound, but
you probably gonna need to zoom in on that for us to see that a little bit better.
Yeah. All right.
If you didn't hit share sound, you'll have to go back out and come back into it to share the sound.
All right, for sure.
Right. It's gonna be at a little when you hit screen share, it's gonna be a little thing at the bottom and that'll say share sound.
I definitely think this platform is a lot more like streamlined and it looks more aesthetic, I think.
Yeah, it is definitely more aesthetically pleasing. I would agree with you there.
It makes the format a lot more like a show.
Yeah, I got the sound going now.
There's actually multiple pictures in that little thing right there, so you could skip. You could go back. You gotta click on that joint, and then I think you gotta skip through there. I don't even know how to skip through, but anyway, there was a bunch. We had probably like 60 people in there. It was a dope event. We had some fucking hilarious comedians that came through. Oh yeah, actually, I meant to go to those pictures. Yeah, we had some hilarious comedians that came through. A couple of people that people may be familiar with from TV. We had some Chicago comedians that are really just fucking ripping up the Chicago comedy scene. It was a fucking dope event. And then in between sets, we had One Light putting up their tracks, working their music, and then at the same time, a fucking guest that got invited last minute just happened to be none of us even know the man's name, just saxophone guy. Nobody knows his goddamn name.
I wish I knew, man.
Play it while he's playing the saxophone because he was killing that shit. It was dope. It was dope when he was actually like playing to actually add to the tempo of the One Light tracks that you guys were playing. You can end the screen share. Yeah. But the Not Yet 420 comedy show, I mean, honestly, it went off with a bang. And then realistically, we're running a business and we ended up in the green. And a lot of times that's all you can really fucking ask for when you're putting on events like this and you're selling tickets and you're hosting X amount of people. There's overhead cost anytime you're doing these types of things. So that's why I said it was kind of a logistics gathering thing. We figure out where we can, save money next time, where we can make more money next time. It was a dope event. It helped us. Every time we do one of these events, it helps us pay rent for the studio. It helps us help the people that the studio helps, the network helps. We do we do some non-for-profit work. So we appreciate every single person who came through. If you're not following us on socials, or if you just want to support us, the link to our store and our Cash App is at the bottom, scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. So I don't got to worry about typing it in the bio. But Spicasso, last night, and it's funny, I didn't even realize was that last night? You guys' show was last night?
Okay, no, maybe it was the day before last.
It was 2 nights ago. Yeah, it was 420.
Yeah.
And man, I don't look from outside looking in. It was a fucking dope event. I understand what you guys were doing. I've been a part of organizing many shows like that. You guys had your people come out and support. You guys found a venue. You guys made it work every way that was possible for everybody to be comfortable. We got some dope footage. You guys really fucking had some high energy. You had some dope artists that you were collabing with, many of whom have been through the studio. Tell us about, what went down and how you guys feel about everything.
Yeah, man, that shit was a blast, and there was definitely a lot of good energy that came into that room. Basically, we got the venue, we set everything up, got a set list going, invited all the dope artists that I knew that would come through that like I fuck with, because I'm not trying to invite someone that isn't making quality music to the concert. So we had quality music, we had a lot of people come and support, and it was just dope. We had footage, but we gonna get it later.
Shit, I'm definitely with it. I'm just checking in the background to make sure that our lives actually did go off how they were supposed to. Definitely everybody who's in, make sure you share it on socials. The live stream, because we are going to be going for a little bit. Dan, it was your first performance that I've gotten a chance to see. How'd you feel about 2 nights ago and how everything went, sir?
Y'all energy was great. I'm so glad you guys showed up. I'm grateful that you recorded it and all that type of stuff. I don't know, it just made the whole thing seem better, at least from my perspective. But also, I like that this was a One Light organized show as well. Like, it wasn't like somebody else's show that we opened up for or anything like that. Like, it was independent and unique to us, which I liked a lot. And I feel like I'm pretty proud of it, just being as young as we are and still being able to put on a show like that. So I think it was a good experience. I'm glad it happened.
Hey, bro, you got to get that young shit out of your mind, because Nas wrote fucking, was it Illmatic, or it was written when he was like fucking 18 or 19. So,
thanks. I got
People
some
still
legendary
speak
stuff
about
from
that
this
shit
I
to
promise
today.
you that.
And that's how you got to feel about it. It's a million motherfuckers older than you that are making absolute garbage, and it's a million motherfuckers younger than you right now that are probably going to be fucking prodigies. I don't know if it's a million prodigies. I don't think prodigies. I think what are prodigies, like 1 in a million? But
I feel like something like that.
But there's a video. We got Dune here. Okay, so I just hopped in.
Yeah.
I was just saying that, we knew you were going to be late because CPT is no longer colored people time. That is now Caucasian people time. And
Oh,
you
really? When was that
motherfuckers,
switch?
it switched whenever white people started sagging their pants and listening to hip hop.
Oh, man. Got you.
In the
80s?
We got a chance. We recapped a little bit of the comedy show and One Light show. Before we move on, did you have anything you wanted to add to what you got out of both experiences?
Shout out, Ide.
Yeah, man. No, both were fucking amazing. Whoever was there can attest to it. Who wasn't, come catch us on the next one.
We're gonna have a lot more. We're gonna have a lot more.
And he brought, I don't know, he helped us bring the whole thing.
I had my first DJ gig with One Light Records. You know what I'm saying? That shit was fun.
Hey, you got like a 95%, something like that. That's a bro.
We had a few slip ups, but we'll get better. You know what I'm saying? But the comedy show was amazing, man. Shout out Ty Riggs and all those comedians I met. I know Shakes, D Banks.
Oh, that dude Marcus Shakes was fucking hilarious. D Banks was hilarious. Ty Riggs was fucking hilarious.
All of just a good energy at the show overall. Just everybody did what they needed to do to help it.
Oh, there's a couple who came through. They were here from St. Louis. They just happened to see a Facebook ad for the show. They came through. They told me so many times how happy they were that they came through. I'm sorry, bro. I know you're probably gonna see this. I do not remember your name, but I know your wife's name is either Yoma or Emma. And you guys were fucking dope. We appreciate you guys. Let me know how that THC butter was. Yeah, so now that you're here and then Bruce is here and Dune is here and we're the old heads here since One Light's on the podcast. Picasso, do me a favor, look at our Instagram page. Maybe it was late last week. There's a post where we're talking about where the caption says something about women not wanting to date because men are broke. I want you to pull up that clip. I want you to share sound and I want to play that clip and I want to get everybody's opinion on this clip real quick. You guys, your opinion just doesn't matter as much on this one because every fucking 18-year-old's broke.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, next year though, it's not gonna be like that.
Yeah, tell them, Dan.
I promise.
Tell them.
Hey, shit, like even if you're rich a year from now, all your peers broke, so you're an anomaly in the matrix.
Thanks.
Doesn't mean his peers can't get rich with him,
Also,
we all gonna wake it up.
Yeah. Facts.
So Dune, I know you're a brother of math and science. So I do. After we have this conversation on the dating down, I do want to get whether or not you invest. I do want to get your opinion on this whole DogeCoin push and fucking how people who we know don't understand any minutia of finance are really pushing and fucking speaking about on social media DogeCoin and cryptocurrency. But we will get to that.
All right, man.
I just don't want you to leave too early is what I was getting at.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, Isaiah, what's the post look like dating down?
Okay, you're gonna have to share the screen so I can show it to you.
I got you.
Dooney, what's up, man?
What's going on, Bruce?
How you doing, man? It's been a while.
I know it's been years, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen you since you was popping up at track practices and shit.
Yeah, those are the good old days, man.
Yeah, them the great old days. Man.
Scroll up, Picasso.
I'm 34 now. That's like 15, 18 years ago, man.
Yeah, we the old heads for sure.
Isn't that crazy?
All right, it's the one all the way on the left, past saxophone dude. Yeah, play that with sound. Zoom in too, so we can see it better. You're gonna have to turn the computer up so we can hear it better.
That there's someone either on your level or higher than you.
So, okay,
Nope, it's not a joke.
So, okay.
Go ahead, doctor.
All right. So before, right, it was okay when the man made more money to be the one to buy everything, to do, treat you and all this other kind of stuff. And now that you make more money, you can't be that one, right? You can't be the one to pay for the meal and because you're dating down.
That's what we want. We want women to be able to have a better. That's what I want. I want women to have a better job and better job opportunities, being paid equally and stuff like that. The thing is, when you reach to that level, they don't want someone that is paid equally. They want to have someone that has more money. That is weird. It's weird out of nowhere.
Education. So with that being said.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So if you could play the beginning of her statement again, what she was saying was, and I could just recap it. What she was saying was, right now in American history, at the least, or Western culture, for whatever reason, more women that are our age, that are of dating, marriage, childbearing age, are single more now than ever. And a lot of the reason for this is because a lot of women feel as though they would have to date down, because right now women are making more in Western culture than they've ever made financially. And because of this, they feel as though they still feel as though they need a man who makes a lot more. But when women and men have equal pay, and we have a certain amount of unemployment, we have a certain amount of jobs that are available, do you guys think that it's unreasonable for, like, I've been following this guy Kevin Samuels a lot lately. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kevin Samuels, but a lot of women call into his show very regularly. And one of the main concepts that they're all talking about is that they want a high value man. And there's multiple things that goes into being a high value man, but one of which is making $10,000 a month, meaning you make over $120,000 a year, which is less than 10% of men, but over 90% of the women who call into the show, at least, are looking for this type of man. So basically this news report was saying that it's basically men's fault for being broke that so many women are single. Now, Bruce, I'm going to start with you because you, like me, are in a domestic relationship. So what do you think about this whole concept of women dating down and or men being looked as though they are less than because of what they're able to provide financially?
Well, I'm gonna just start by saying that dating down or up thing is just something that's made up, because like I just feel like the time that you give to someone is probably the most valuable thing. And we just living in a culture and a society where, we value people based off how much they making, and especially men, so, but we all got the same 24 hours in a day, so it shouldn't matter if a woman's making more than a man. Like, we all got the same amount of time to work with, but at the same time, dating up or dating down is it's ridiculous to me,
Yeah.
Okay. That's a fair assessment. Like, you don't agree with the terminology of dating down or up because you feel as though that says something about the person that you're dating without actually taking into account the quality time. So basically, in order for you to acknowledge it, you would have to put a price point on how much that quality time is worth.
I mean, there's no way you could really put a price on time, but these women that's calling into his show, they're looking specifically for a man who can, feed their needs pretty much. And it depends on,
Feeds their wants, because
their wants,
most of
their needs.
the reason that I said wants as opposed to needs is because the average black man in America makes $40,500. The average white man in America makes $50,500. That $10,000 difference is not a huge difference when you're talking about those amounts of money. But then again, at a certain point, it is kind of a big difference. Either way, though, those men can provide a life. Now, it's not a life of luxury, but that's also over 80% of men that are in that, range that's making that. But before we delve too far into that, let's get Ide and Dune's opinion on this. Ide, how are you feeling about this situation and what you heard?
Yeah, I just don't understand the statement. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We could hear you.
Yeah.
You want to play it? You want to play it again for clarification?
I mean, it's not broke men are the reason women are single.
Basically.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, you got to realize up until very recently, you got to think up until like what, the 50s, the overwhelming majority of women were not working. They didn't have to work. And I don't view anything wrong with that. I think that women who are homemakers play a vital role in society. I think that fucking just like how they say kids who grow up without dads in the household are X amount times more likely to drop out of high school early or X amount of times more likely to go to jail. I think that women who are homemakers play a vital role in raising any child of any race or fucking socioeconomic background. That being said, I think that there has been a diminishment of the value of a homemaking woman or man for that reason. Now, I also think that people in Western culture don't respect men who would be the homemakers, but that's the gist of the idea. So that being said, your opinion.
I mean, look, women have more opportunity nowadays, right? So it's like, that's why we have this uptick in women making more money, women being more educated, all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the case, then that women are wealthier than men, if you want to say, then cool. If she finds a guy he might be broke, might not have a job, but he'll take care of the house, I don't see nothing wrong with that. It just sounds like to me that, I mean, those women don't want to take on that role, you know what I'm saying? But men have for forever,
For millennia.
Yeah. Now, look, I mean, could it be me? No, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who, would love a dude who would want to stay home, raise the kids, cook.
You answered the question before I even asked it. I was definitely going to ask, are you guys that are on this podcast right now, are you guys okay with being the stay-at-home dad?
See, also, like, what's broke? Like,
what's broke?
Yeah.
Broke is anything that doesn't allow you to provide the lifestyle that she herself could provide or she herself wants, right? So when they're calling into Kevin Samuel's show, like I said, the average man makes 40,000, the average black man 40,500, the average white man 4,500, Hispanic man somewhere in between. I imagine guys like Dune and his racial demographic overwhelmingly seems to move into STEM. So those guys are making STEM is science, technology, not education, engineering and mathematics, right? So that's racist, kind of, sort of, but it's also accurate. So it is what it is, dude. I'm just letting it be known that you guys probably make a little bit more. But then at the same time, culturally, I see a lot more people of your demographic. And when it comes to Eastern Europeans, specifically Muslim Eastern Europeans, a lot of them also get married and settle down early. So I kind of think that actually makes a difference in the way that relationships work out and the way that relationships are perceived. But Dune, I would like to know your opinion on this whole dating down situation and how you view it.
Yeah, man, I think we're in an interesting time now, right? A couple things. One, what do we view as success, right? First, I think the biggest thing is you have to define what success is. Once we know what success looks like, we can then start analyzing and understanding where women are coming from that angle. Because
so I think that's a really good question. And before you move past it, I actually got into an argument with my dad a couple of years ago because he asked the same question you asked, what is success? And I said, I think that success is when you're able to provide a comfortable lifestyle for your family doing something that you love. I view that as success. He told me I was wrong. So that's why it spiraled into an argument. But
well, everyone has a different idea of success, right? That's why I asked, like, what's broke? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna say broke men are the reason that women are single, then like, all right, well, is it because those women make 6 figures plus and the average man makes what he makes? Is it, what is it?
Yeah, so
about $45,000 a year for the average man in America.
Right. Go ahead.
So if we're going to use success, and let's just arbitrarily say success is going to be defined as a minimum of $70,000. Let's use a value that's measurable, right?
Okay.
It's hard to measure, love or care or emotion, right? We can't. It's tough to measure that, because who's to say I'm more loving than the next person, right? Anyway, so let's just say it is 70,000. I was looking earlier, just the average salary in America, and now granted, different cities, different states, different standards of living, but the average is still around 32,000, 34,000, somewhere around there. That's your average.
That's including women and men, though.
Correct. Yes, that includes all. And then the average 2-income household is around 63,000. And the higher end, I believe, is like 92,000, something like that. A two-partner household, right? So another thing that we need to start taking, and realizing that women are surpassing men in the field of education, and are becoming more successful in terms of getting a college degree, right? Again, we need to be very specific with this, because you don't have to graduate from college to be successful. There are a ton of people in different, work in a different workforce that make a ton of money, right? There are people that make more than doctors and surgeons. They own a construction company. Some of those guys have never been to college, right? So we can't really say that, but hypothetically, people that do go to college on average, that graduate, do make more money than those who do not, right?
Right.
So at some point, there's going to be this shift, and this shift will happen where women do make more money, and they are the breadwinners, right? And
I have a question, dude.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is based in truth, fact, and data and statistics, but I think what we're kind of missing is truck drivers, for example. Mm-hmm. Truck drivers make double what the average American is making.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And truck drivers, plumbers, guys who really work with their hands and do the down and dirty jobs. Those jobs, like, I've heard women call in the Kevin Samuels show and say things like, I'm not dating a plumber, even though he makes $85,000 a year when the average man is making 45.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's what it goes back to then, right? So this is why I have to have clear definitions, and then we have to get into the things where the emotional attachment comes in, because I think on top of what I just stated with the money and all that stuff, the education, mm-hmm. things of that nature, the new thing that we have that we never used to have were all these dating apps, mm-hmm. right? So now that we have these dating apps, there's these options, right? And with these mm-hmm. options, women are now looking at the options, because let's be real. You go through a woman's DM versus a man's DM, guaranteed, unless he's a celebrity, right? The female's DMs are going to be packed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's just how it is. More men are going to try to shoot their shot and try to make it happen. And women know this. They see it. They're not naive to it. So they have their choices. However, oftentimes, men that are quote unquote successful or focused on their grind, they're not shooting their shots. They're doing exactly what they're doing. They're on their grind.
Yeah.
Right? The guys that, and other guys can be on the grind. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to downplay them and what they're doing, but they have other objectives. Like, hey, I'm gonna slide in. I'm gonna see what's up. This, that, yada yada, right? And they go for it. What do they got to lose? When you're
so do you think the overwhelming amount of options is kind of distorting people's view of successful relationships.
Correct. And I think social media is doing a terrible job at that. There's all these, if I just go through my Instagram stories, a ton of people are always posting some emotional bullshit, as I call it. Like, if X, Y, and Z, if this, and this, it's like, yo, what are you bringing to the relationship? Stop. All you're doing is demanding, right? What are you going to say? This is what I'm going to bring to the table. You can't just keep on saying this. These are all the things that I want. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do for the man? That is.
I think that you would really appreciate Kevin Samuels. I think that you should check out his content. Based on what you're saying.
I've never.
You said what?
I've never heard of the guy.
So he's an image consultant that for the last few years he was making content where he was speaking directly to men, and he was holding men to their fucking like, okay, you can't find a woman. Why? Oh, you're out of shape. Oh, you're broke and out of shape. Oh, you're broke and out of shape and live with your mom. Yeah, motherfucker, you don't deserve a woman right now. He was giving men hard talk, straight talk for years. The last year or so since quarantine, he's been doing this with women. And because of that, he's been going viral a lot. But to your point that you were saying, what actually are these women with these high standards bringing to the relationship? A lot of times they say things like, oh, well, I'm bringing him love and loyalty, even though she wants a man making, $150,000, $185,000 a year. She doesn't have to work. All he gets is love and loyalty. So his response to that is frequently, okay, well, he could buy a dog for that. So what else are you bringing to the relationship? He could buy a dog for love and loyalty.
And then I could also say, well, he's bringing that to the table too. It's not like you're bringing just that. He's bringing
right.
So, and then the other thing you have to think about also is a man making 50,000 and you're making 70,000 dating down for you? Like, what is dating down for a woman?
A lot of women who move into these career paths where they're making 85, 90, 100,000, 120,000 plus. A lot of these women do feel as though they are dating down by dating a man who makes, significantly less than them. If a woman's making $130,000 a year and the man that is courting her makes what the average man makes or slightly above it, let's say he's making 60. He's making half of what she makes.
Yeah.
For a lot of women, you hear a lot of times they say, well, I'd be fine with dating him as long as he has ambition to make more, as long as he can't. But in his career field, that is, probably his peak. So it's almost selfish to try to force him to make more than what his career field allows.
But then, you could also just turn it around and say, well, okay, if you feel like you're dating down, if you get a man that makes more than you, isn't he dating down and you're the down? So you got to hit them.
That's a good question.
You got to hit them with that, because as you alluded to this before, you said that's been going on for millennia, but men don't consider it dating down. I don't think I've ever heard a man say, oh, well, I make 100. My wife makes 50. I'm dating down. I don't think a man is.
I think that's because, hey, y'all, it's Diamond. The
what up, Diamond?
Oh, Diamond, your cam's not on.
I know, because I look a mess. And
I'm glad a female is here so we can get a female perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, do me a favor and play the clip for Diamond so that she can hear it herself.
All right.
You're going to have to share screen. Make sure you click the little box that says share sound. Diamond, I assume that your hair is reckless right now out in that Cali.
It's not. I just I had the busiest day. I literally walked in the door and saw your message. So I just haven't had a second to pause.
Guys, she probably looks fine and she just didn't have a chance to put no makeup on. So she's like, I'm not hopping on right now without no makeup on.
You're probably right.
Yeah, you're going to have to share the sound on that.
Hey, I just left a Zoom meeting with the senator. My phone's dead, so I'm probably not going to be able to jump back in. I don't have a charge. But I wanted to say what's up and show some love to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because I missed last week too. I didn't know y'all switched over to StreamYard.
No. Last week we did not have one because we were preparing for the comedy show and One Light show. So this is our first week since the last time you were on.
Okay, love. How did the show go? Both shows.
Everything was amazing. I appreciate you asking, brother. It was like Ide is actually showing some of the bits and pieces of it. We actually, we only had 48 seats. We had about 60 people in there. It was a dope event. Networking was great. Meeting these fucking hilarious comedians was dope. D Banks brought the house down. Ty Riggs brought the house down. A guy named Marcus Shakes came through and fucking blew it up. He said some shit like, my teacher in high school told me I wasn't gonna be shit. 6 years later, I robbed that bitch. It was a dope event. I appreciate you hopping in. Before your phone dies, Darrell, did you have anything that you wanted to add to the conversation or anything that you wanted to promote before your phone dies? Because I know you do your non-for-profit work out here, and I would have liked your opinion on some of the topics that we're going to have tonight. So if you do get a hold of a charger, definitely hop back in.
It might be like 30, 45 minutes. I ain't going to lie. But if y'all still on, I'll jump in. I got a lot of big things happening right now. We campaigning to correct the courts. We bringing the rims back in East Rogers Park right now.
You a legend. You a legend for that. Bring the bitches back.
Hold on one second. So people actually know what he's talking about. What a lot of people are not aware of, in a lot of Rogers Park, and a lot of the so-called inner city communities, they have pulled the basketball courts down. The actual rims from the basketball courts down. In some places, they've replaced them with other things like soccer fields and stuff like that. But in a lot of places, it's nothing but a backboard. So Darrell is saying that they're actually working an initiative to get those basketball rims put back up. Correct, sir?
Well, what we've actually done is the people who's making these big decisions, they're having 30 people in the room having board meetings and community meetings, what they want for the community, and we having petitions that got thousands of signatures, and we think our thousands of signatures outweigh all of y'all 30. I don't care who it is or what official was in there talking about take the rims down. Like, these kids want to play basketball, so we have.
Hey, Darrell, is there still room for signatures?
Yeah, of course. Tomorrow we're gonna be having a picnic. We'll be. You can get a signature just by contacting me. My personal number, or get in contact with anybody from Mogul Minds. They can direct you right to anybody from my organization, Communities Partner for Peace, Uptown and Rogers Park.
Darrell, call me tomorrow morning. I'm going to show you how to get these signatures electronically and push it out to way more people in the neighborhood.
I'm definitely going to get on top of that. But yeah, we're challenging them. Tomorrow we're going to give back to the community. We're not just going to have demands. We're going to be open food for the children, for the youth. All are welcome, of course, though. Slight fish fry as well as barbecue. That's just tomorrow from 4 to 7 at Willie B. White. But I got a couple different organizations that's just unfolding. I know I ain't gonna have enough time on this phone to tell you about all of them, but I got at least two. I told you about the teaching thing that we're gonna start doing. We're gonna start doing virtual homeschools for urban youth. It's gonna be a different culture as well as state force culture, whatever they want. As far as state, we'll be having that as the curriculum, as well as electives and economic trades that they do not offer young youth. So we're building that right now. I got a couple more meetings before that's official, and I'm actually trying to step out right now and create my own organization. Everything's kind of being constructed right now with the board and everything as far as violence prevention and the work that we're doing. Because right now, all the guys that's in the field that I'm doing on the north side in terms of outreach and violence prevention, we're under the cloth of other organizations, and there's not really any brothers in control of their own organizations, and we're putting in all the work on the front line.
Right.
So they're patching out all these $30-40 million budgets. A lot of these guys are getting paid off things that we created from scratch and put out there for the community for free. And you got random people coming up, mostly Caucasians, getting budgets, $1 million budgets for these same ideas and plans. So I'm just meeting with a lot of organizers right now and draft writers who putting some of these ordinances together that we're trying to change.
Darrell, Not to cut you off, sir, but I'm gonna need you to go find a charger and hop back on when you can, because one of the things that we want to get to, and I'll hold the topic off until you can get back, but one of the things that we wanted to get into is one of the things that I've been seeing on social media a lot this week, especially, is, this tragically, this young girl got murdered in the car with her father. I think the young girl was 7 years old. And one of the things that I'm seeing a lot of is everybody's so ready to jump up in arms when it's a cop that kills a, young black or brown child, but nobody's up in arms when fucking, a neighborhood motherfucker does this shit. And I would argue that
If
is
I
a
could
lie
interject
based on the
just a little
work
bit
that
real
based
quick.
on the work that you're doing. I would argue that that's a fucking lie, and there's a lot of people out here doing that work.
Yeah, our campaign right now, they're doing the whole ride-throughs in those communities, man, for putting the guns down on the west side. Damn.
Find that charger, bro. All right. So I think his phone might have died. So Diamond, I want you to check out this video. If you could zoom in a little bit more, that would be great. And then hit play so she could hear it, and then we'll catch her up to speed about what we were talking about. Diamond, if you could see the caption, it says broke men are the reason women are single.
Okay.
Really career driven. And I don't think there's anything wrong with hoping that there's someone either on your level or higher than you.
So, okay. Nope. It's not a joke.
So, okay.
Go ahead, doctor.
All right. So before, right, it was okay when the man made more money to be the one to buy everything, to do, treat you and all this other kind of stuff. And now that you make more money, you can't be that one, right? You can't be the one to pay for the meal, and because you're dating down.
That's what we want. We want women to be able to have a better. That's what I want. I want women to have a better job and better job opportunities, being paid equally and stuff like that. The thing is, when you reach to that level, they don't want someone that is paid equally. They want to have someone that has more money. That is weird. It's weird out of where it works.
Education. Being said, we're gonna hold off on the dating.
You can end that screen share. So Diamond, the conversation is a lot, right? Because of education, because of the way that career fields are moving, because of the rising equality in pay scale between women and men, a lot of women make more money than the average man. The average black man in America makes $40,500. The average white man in America makes $50,500, around that. So we can say the median range for the average man in America is about $45,000 a year. The overwhelming majority of women do not feel as though that is enough for the type of lifestyle that they would like to live. More so prevalent in urban, aka black community, but
because of
this
music.
is
Music is heavily influencing that right now.
I would think so as well. What do you think about this topic of dating down and this whole concept? Because I can't remember if it was Ide or Faradun, but one of the things that one of the guys that is Faradun.
Hey, I'm on my phone, so y'all are mad little.
Oh yeah, that's why I changed to my computer, because it was the same way.
Okay, what do I think about dating down?
What is your definition of dating down?
Look, at the end of the day, I think that anybody can date down. Somebody who makes $15 an hour could feel like they're dating down. Everybody has their comfortability of where they want their lifestyle to be. And especially if you are in a position where you do make a decent amount of money to where your lifestyle is a certain way, I think it's okay to say, like, I'd like to date someone that's, in the same area as me, so I don't have to feel like we can't do this if, I don't know.
If you're carrying the financial burden.
And it's not even like, I want you to pay for everything, so you got to have money. It's just like, I don't want you to feel like you can't do stuff because you're insecure, because you're not at the level that I'm at. But at the same time, like, all that is stuff you say when you're single and you didn't catch feelings for somebody. At the end of the day, you could still catch feelings for somebody that doesn't make a certain amount of money, and then all that can go out the window too. So I think it's okay that when you're like clear-minded and you're just saying like, hey, I have these standards for myself because this is where I'm at think it's okay to like say I don't want to go to, like me, I don't make a whole lot of money, but I don't want to date somebody that's making like, I don't know, like
Working
$10
fries
an
at
hour.
McDonald's.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Diamond. Are you gonna date the White Castle fry cook?
No,
Why?
because like I'm 30 years old now, and I could have dated him 10 years ago, but I'm not there. Like that's not where my life is at right now. If you're right now a fry cook, I know where I was at when I was working at a fucking hamburger restaurant and how much growth 10 years went by since then. I'm a whole nother person. You have like, and it's no disrespect to where you're at. I just know you have so long to go till you get to a place where maybe you're working in corporate and maybe you're making a higher salary. That's just the process we all have to go through from when we're young to, you know, maturing.
What do you think about this statement though, that broke men are the reason women are single?
I'm trying to like make logic of what that means. Broke.
That's what I was asking too.
So
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, the overarching point there, Diamond, is what they were trying to say, both in the news article and in the overarching conversation, is that it's not the reason that. So they're saying that the average age of women being married, I think they say 24% of black, 25% of black women in America or in the Western culture will ever be married to anybody of any race. And the second in that group is white women, and that number is dwindling, and it's around like 52% or something along those lines. So half of white women get married, 1 out of every 4 black women get married. And a lot of the reason for this is finance, because if you actually ever look at divorce statistics, one of the biggest reasons for divorce is typically finance. So the question then becomes, why
is it saying
aren't
broke men are not proposing? Like, what is it saying?
It's saying that broke men can't give these women the lifestyle that they want in order to be the feminine, submissive women that men want to propose to. Basically, women don't want to submit to a man who they don't feel as though is the provider that they once could have had.
Okay. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's really specific to what works for certain people. Like, I know that submissiveness is dope, and like I would definitely want a guy. Like, I would not mind a guy that's like,
I don't know, Diamond. I've known you a long time. And submissive is not a thing I'd call you.
What I'm saying is like, if I'm in a relationship where my dude is like, I want to, you know, I'm going to pay the mortgage and I got the bills, I'm not going to argue with that. I'm be like, okay, Daddy, you could take care of everything. But
I tried to hold it in. I tried. I'm sorry, guys, my fault.
We got David in here.
That's what I mean when I say like
my fault.
That is okay. That is fine with me. But you know, like Farid, I think earlier you said that you don't ever hear men saying that they're dating down, because I think also you guys are more like, I want to provide. Like that's like a man thing. You guys like to provide.
Right. No. It's not even a like thing. It is like literally biologically wired into us, where we feel less than to a certain degree.
Right. I've had guys not want to be serious.
I'll give you an example. It's like the girl I'm seeing right now. She got a son. All right. This kid he's 7, but he acts like he's 3.
Why? What do you mean, like he's spoiled?
No, because he's raised by a single mom and his dad ain't around.
Got you.
All right, and that's I you know, it's like that from day one. He's one of them kids that will literally come out, throw a tantrum, and go in his room and start throwing shit because his mom is short. Like he's almost he's getting to that height. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I mean, when she brings down the hammer on him, that's what's going on. But what I was saying is that I started helping him with his e-learning because she didn't have the patience to do it. And then it was just a natural, I'm just like, all right, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a natural instinct. I shouldn't be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because he should be able to do his own work himself because he reads perfectly. He just gives his mom a difficult time. But me jumping in without, you know, like ask, hey, do you need help? I just jumped in. You know what I'm saying? That's what Isaiah was saying, that it's just a natural thing to provide or for us to help
play that
out.
role that we
Right,
know
exactly.
needs to be played.
Do you guys
So,
like hate it sometimes? Like, do guys like genuinely hate? I'm sure they do. Like that whole you pay, like let's say you live with somebody, you pay the rent. Like, do y'all low-key be hating that kind of stuff?
No, you know what it is? It's not that we hate it. It is that, think about our grandparents, all of us, regardless of our demographic. Your grandfather potentially had another family on the other side of town. Like, and a lot of times you didn't even find out about that shit until the funeral. I'm not saying that shit's okay. I'm saying that I think that women have been sold a Disney fantasy. Between Hallmark and Disney, women have been sold this fucking, oh, marriage is supposed to be about true love and it's supposed to be perfect financially. It's supposed to be all these things that the modern world does not allow. So
How ironic! I went to Disney World Wednesday.
We can be the providers, but the problem with being the provider is that usually came with having a woman who submitted to your word. And right now, in today's day and age, how many women are going to submit to a man's word when he can't buy her a Birkin bag fucking every month, when he can't fucking buy her red bottoms every other month? How many women are just going to submit to a man just because he can provide the necessities?
So here's the thing, Isaiah. So obviously, you know, I've been doing a little bit of research. I got to defend the women a little bit. All right.
Okay. And this is not a bashing women thing. This is why
So what I was looking at some data, and I was looking at divorce rates, and it says 70% of women actually initiate divorce and things of that nature. And some of the reasons why
it's 80% in the Black community, but overall 70%.
Yeah. So and one of the reasons is that women and men can have similar career paths, similar salaries and things of that nature, but when you come home, women are still expected to have the house clean, cook, all that stuff. But guess what? As a woman, right? And let's say if I was a female, or I'm in those shoes, it's like, yo, if I'm making the same amount of money as you and I'm doing all the work at the house, I don't need you. What do I need you for?
And let's not forget how we're expected to just do everything for the kid. I know so many girls that are miserable in that like newborn stage because it's like, no, I'm not waking up, you wake up type of shit.
See, that mentality, I don't.
I don't. I never.
I feel like as a man, like you need to put your work in. Especially, I don't know. I guess just the way I was raised, like even data shows when fathers are in their kids' lives and are attentive and stuff, like their kids are just better overall in everything.
Yes,
that happens to be facts. That happens to be the unpopular fact.
Yeah.
But to your question though, Diamond, like, do we mind or do we get mad about having to pay shit? No, it's cool. But as long as things are upheld in the house, you know what I'm saying?
Respected, yes.
If I'm like to your point, Dune, you were saying like, if she's out there hustling and making money and doing just as much as the guy is and still having to clean up at home, yeah, that's not fair, right? But if the guy is out there, the breadwinner, making the money, I don't think it's too much to ask for the woman to maintain the house. If there's kids, if there's, what I'm saying, to make sure that he comes home to a meal. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask for if she's not working.
Well,
no,
because
I don't.
Being a stay-at-home mom, not even gonna lie, is a hard job. From just people I know who have done it have said. They say it's like one.
It is a hard job. It's a really hard job.
I came in late and then you missed that point, Diamond. But one of the things that I said was that is an extremely important thing, just as important as the dad being in the household, like Dune was just saying. It is extremely important to have that, if you can, if finances allow, to have that homemaker mom in the house. That plays a vital role in raising children. And for whatever reason, our society, Western culture, has diminished the value of what it means to be a homemaker as a woman. And for some reason, women feel as though there's more value in them going out getting a job and making money as opposed to staying home and making sure that the kids fucking are Gucci, making sure that the fucking house is straight. I think that a problem that we have in our society is that we have diminished the value of how important it is to have a homemaking person at
family
home.
period, bro. Like
Yes,
family is
either
not
either or. It ain't.
yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna
The
lie.
family unit
I
is
wouldn't
not
mind staying
respected
home and taking care of all that stuff.
Let's get Diamond's perspective here, since she's the only lady. Then we can push through to everybody else.
I just agree with what it sounded probably like I said I disagree. I just agree with everything you're saying. And I think that the whole diminishing of
the value
of like a stay-at-home mom is because a lot of times we've seen that a woman can stay home all day, cook, clean, be perfect, kids, whatever, and then end up cheated on and disregarded. So even like Hollywood has made it, look like, oh, that's the woman that ends up getting disrespected, and he goes have fun with like the other girl. So I think that plays a role into it too.
Oh, you would hate Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, you would. I was just thinking that shit too.
Yeah, she would fucking hate him.
Definitely.
Yeah, she would hate him because here's a question, Diamond.
What?
If let's say that you found this man that he valued every fucking thing that you do. He never disrespected you. He never fucking embarrassed you. He never did anything that you would consider relationship ending. But
okay,
from time to time, he does get other vagina. He doesn't fucking do it blatantly. He doesn't. What's that?
So how's he never disrespected me?
See now, exactly. No. That's a legitimate question that she has. So how's he never disrespecting you? You don't find out. He doesn't bring anything home. He doesn't bring any of that drama. None of the home finances go to this person. The only reason that you even know that it happened is because you stalked him and saw him doing it.
But yeah, that's the only way we could ever find out. Because what are you gonna do? Tell us.
Oh, okay, but how is he disrespecting you if he goes above and beyond to hide it?
What?
No. Look, I understand that. In modern society, we need a lot of people, both men and women, feel as though they need monogamy. I'm just asking.
And I really
right
wish we could
in the animal world, Diamond. How many male animals stay monogamous?
I know, but that's because they just live their own natural lives. We came in and created rules and shit that like now you can't break.
Who's the host? You're the host, right? It says connection. That was something about connection.
That was Christian Puritan shit that actually brought that in. Right. Monogamy. So, like if you actually look at indigenous cultures throughout history, it doesn't matter what fucking continent you're on. Realistically, monogamy is not fucking high on the goddamn list. Now, I'm not saying that men should just be able to just go fuck a bunch of bitches, especially if you're a broke nigga. I'm just saying, why is it so important if this man is doing everything else that he could possibly do to make your life comfortable and happy?
Because at the end of the day, it's just hurtful. Like it's just gonna hurt no matter what you say, no matter what you do. Now, you're talking to someone who believes, I genuinely believe that all men cheat. And I know I shouldn't think that way, but like try to change my mind. And so
we'll have that conversation offline.
I just know that like that is always gonna be like either really close to happening or always in the back of the mind. Like, mostly men. I'm not saying women don't cheat, but like I really feel like men are not monogamy.
No, so statistically, if we look up the data from the people polled, 26% of men cheat and 24% of women cheat. So the ideology that is so much more men than women is just false. But that's the way that it's pushed to us.
Well, I guess
like you got to think we live in the swipe right and swipe left culture, like Dune was talking about earlier. This is literally a society where any one of us, whether we're in a relationship or not, could hop on a fucking social media app and fucking just swipe right or swipe left until we get some pussy or dick for the night.
Yeah.
Like Diamond, I'm pretty sure any night of the week that you want to, you can fucking go outside and just be like, hey, you want to come upstairs? I'm pretty sure like fucking the overwhelming majority of guys are going to be like, all right, well, of heterosexual men are going to be like, all right, they don't even need to know you. They're not even going to ask your fucking name. It just is what it is. It's super simple for women.
If they're attractive. Nah, that's not.
But there is, and I've talked to Diamond about it before. She is unaware of it, but she has what's called pretty girl privilege, where like her world outlook is slightly skewed because she's an attractive woman in Western culture.
I just don't be saying it because that sounds cocky as fuck. But I know I get away with shit because people are attracted to me.
With simps.
No, like even like authority, like I'll get something for free, or like they'll be like, okay, your ID's expired. Oh, next time,
you can. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if your nudes look like Lizzo's nudes that she just released today, you wouldn't get away with as much.
She released nudes today. Where?
She did release nudes today, and that was a thing that we were gonna bring up. I was waiting for Ide on that one.
Where did Ide go?
He's probably smoking a blunt or some shit. You know,
where did she do this? Fans or what?
What's that?
Did she do this on OnlyFans or?
No. I definitely saw him. I definitely saw him on Instagram.
There must
I don't follow her. So and then you know what? I'm not even gonna blow up like the Reddit community spot. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. It's probably breaking guy code. So Diamond, here's the question.
Okay.
What to you is a man that you could see yourself submitting to and being like, okay, I'll put up with this guy's bullshit. I'll be submissive. I'll check myself. I'll be cool. He has to be able to provide a certain type of lifestyle for you, correct?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like one of those people that's like stupid.
Come on, Diamond.
No, because
I'm not calling you materialistic. I'm saying that women in general like comfort.
I just everything I do is based off of emotion. So I don't, at the end of the day, that's why I said, like, when I have feelings, all that shit goes out the window. Like, if I'm like into you and I fall for you, that's it. Like, you got the best version of me, the submissive version of me. I don't care how much money you making. Like, that shit just happens because I'm like that. Like, I just can fall.
But how does a broke guy get to that point with you when he can't take you on the dates that you're used to going to, when he can't take you to the restaurants that you like?
When I'm level-headed, though, I'm not gonna fall in love with the guy who's at White Castle. But what I'm saying is, like, if I'm dating around, okay.
If you're dignitized.
I'm looking at what's his job. If it's like something where I'm like, okay, that sounds cute, that's professional, then he's gonna make it to round 2. Then when we're in round 2, I'm like, oh, let's see what kind of car he picked me up in. It's not like, it doesn't have to be BMW and Audi. It can just literally be like, okay, cute, you pay your little $300 car.
What year Toyota does he need to have? Is it 2012 fine, or does he need to have a 2016?
Like, I'm not even gonna the reason I think this way is because I literally don't make crazy money and I leased the 2021. Like, I feel like you can make okay money and lease a brand new car if you want it. Like, don't come with like a 2001 for no reason. Like, why? Like, just go.
See, and this is why Dune felt the need to go out and get him a nice ass fucking car, because so many women feel like, hey, look, bro, you can't be picking me up in no 2013 Toyota.
When you pull up in something that looks like sexy, it doesn't have to be like the craziest, newest, whatever, but when it looks like, okay, that's like a decent car and it's not old, that gains you, like, you don't even know what it gives you.
Isaiah, don't be doing that to me, man. I got a nice car because I got my shit set. I got my own place. I live on my own. I was like, you know what can I splurge on right now? That I feel, so I got myself a nice little car. Why you gotta go on me like that, huh?
I was really going on the pressure that women put on men. It wasn't about you or Diamond. It was more so that Dave Chappelle has a really old joke from like the 90s where he was like, realistically, men don't give a fuck about shit. We would live in a fucking cardboard box if we thought we could get pussy in a cardboard box, but we know that we can't. So we choose to get nicer things solely so that women feel comfortable enough to give us vagina. Because
you guys' minds are always revolving around how you're gonna.
Yes, that's not just human males. That's not just human males. That's all males.
It fascinates me that like it won't even be in like no like sick way. It's just like you guys' minds are always on like, okay, is the end result gonna be that though?
Okay, but look at it like this: women seek out protection and providers,
right? Because we're thinking
right. Like women don't like. If I was a woman, I wouldn't fucking work. Like, why the fuck would I work? This asshole can go to work for me. Why the fuck would I work? It makes no sense.
So Isaiah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things even Diamond mentioned. But I think the way society's set up now, it's not possible for people that are together to not work. And
most because you got to figure 10% of men and like 7% or so of women actually make enough money to fund 2 people.
Mm-hmm. Who are missing out something here. You saying if I was a woman I wouldn't work. You don't know that men put the same pressure on you for doing absolutely nothing with your life. Like you could meet somebody that you guys like are talking, he figures out that the last 10 years you ain't had a job, you live at your mom's house or something, he's gonna be like, oh, she's a lazy broke bitch. Like
no. Men are way more likely to accept that if you're a homemaker.
I'm not.
How you gonna know?
I'll be honest, I'm not.
You are not. You are not. But Dune, you also, like me, are not in the top 10 percentile of male income earners. Because if you made if you made $150,000 a year, you wouldn't give a shit what she did as long as she did the shit that she needs to do at the house.
How you gonna get to the stage of knowing what she does at the house when the first day you meet her, like she's like living off of her parents and she's 30? You're gonna be down.
Did she give you cheeks on that day? Because that'll change a lot of the. I'm being real.
You guys,
I understand that what I'm saying.
That Isaiah does not represent all men this way.
Right.
Like,
No. I do not. I do not. But I represent the overwhelming majority of men. So that being said, if we're gonna be honest and for real, if every man on this planet, if all prices stayed the same and every man made $120,000 a year, shit would look completely different. Because so many women wouldn't feel the need to fucking go into fucking $250,000 worth of debt just to fucking make 80 grand a year.
That's not
so
true,
many. No, there's always gonna be driven women.
Right.
There's always gonna be women who want to have their own. But even from those women, like if you look at Kevin Samuel's show, how many women call into his show that make 6 figures? A lot. And of those women, it's very, very rare that they can accept the man, the plumber, who makes $80,000 a year.
No, or that they're even married. Like they're usually either divorced or single, dating type shit. Like
it's very rare that women can accept men who make half of what they make, as opposed to men who can accept women who make nothing.
Yeah, but we're different because we look to reproduce, right? Like, so for us, a woman who's in her, I don't know, 40s making 6 figures is not all that appealing to me if I want kids or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go for the.
You don't want those frozen eggs, is what you're saying.
No, right. So like fresh out of college type, like that's even, what I'm saying?
Diamond, you're fucked up because you laughed because you know how many women freeze their eggs and are like, I'm good. I could have a baby.
I laughed at you. Well, I reached the age where my friends are freezing their eggs, first of all, but I
30-year-old women should not be freezing their eggs, but
I ain't freezing no eggs. If it don't happen, it don't happen. We ain't doing
I
it.
feel you, like fucking.
I respect that.
No, for real, because that shit is expensive. I'll look like freezing. And then you also don't know for sure that it's gonna work. Like you could freeze like 20 eggs and like 2 of them might be okay. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
But Isaiah, going back to the other thing you said, if a female makes 120, right? I don't like. I'm looking back at this. I'm not gonna blame her too much, and it's one particular reason why. When she gets pregnant, she has to take time off work.
Yeah, that's a fact, and she needs to take that into account.
Can you sustain that type of lifestyle while she's taking time off? So can I blame her?
That's a valid question.
Can I blame her there? Nah, man.
Your beard is phenomenal, bro. I just needed to say that because I've been looking at it and I'm thinking about it. Your beard is fucking phenomenal. But I also feel like it's effortless for people of Desi descent. So I feel like you kind of got a handicap. You know what I'm saying? It's like black people playing basketball.
Yeah, it could be that, man. I guess I'm genetically gifted with facial hair.
You absolutely are. But to your point, in all seriousness, I'm sorry, what were you saying, Diamond?
Point. It's not. It's like that's like one small portion of like the thought process. But sometimes it's not even about you guys. It's about your childhood trauma that you're not trying to repeat. Like, I'm not trying to struggle the way I saw my mom struggle. I want to be living in a life where I'm comfortable. And if my kids are asking me, can we go to McDonald's? I don't have to say no because we're broke. Or can we go?
I'm going to say no because I don't want my kids to be fat, not because I don't got the money.
I said McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, if my kids want to go to Disney World, I don't want to have to be like, one day, like, I want to be in a
what you're saying is real shit, and that's half of the reason I got married. Not because I didn't love my wife, but because I wanted to give my son or my child, whatever I had, fucking the 2-parent household, the best odds at fucking being successful in this type of society.
Right. So it's not about you guys in your pockets. It's about my goal for my future needs to look like this. And this person that's making this amount of money is going to make that happen. Like, and it's not because I'm using all their money. I'm going to work too. Like, me plus you is equaling the future that I want.
Okay, Diamond. So here's a question that Kevin Samuels asks all the women that call into his show. And you have to ask her this question, Diamond. Do you let's say that you found this fucking guy that you fucking love and he's a high value man and he makes good money or whatever. Do you want to have to work after you have a child? You want to have to work.
I am a very big believer in taking the first year of the kid's life off. So I would be.
I think me being completely honest, and I wish I was in the situation where my wife could take multiple years off. She took the bulk of the first year off, but I'm not in a position financially where she could take multiple years off. And I hate the fact that I'm not in that position.
Right.
But I'm not.
I worked at a daycare and I was a teacher for the classroom that was 3 months to a year. And I felt so bad for how much those moms were missing. I was seeing their first steps all the time. So, like,
right. Their first word you probably came across.
Their kids hold on to my shirt and not want to go to their mom at 5 p.m. every day. So,
because you're spending fucking the whole part of the day with them. They go home and sleep.
They spend with their parents.
That's the worst part about it. And again, getting back to that whole, like, we just disregard family completely here. Like, it's okay here for you to go and leave your children with a complete stranger.
That sounds crazy in so-called third world countries. That sounds crazy in third world countries.
I mean, no, in third world countries, it's okay because it's a community, right? Like, your whole building,
but in a third world country, that old lady that watches the kids, everybody knows her. Everybody knows her kids. Everybody knows her grandkids. It's a different situation.
Right. But here, it's not that. So.
In Israel, like, your mom and your dad are going to be like those super grandparents that are just taking care of your kids all the time. Like, family is just so connected and involved over there.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've been able to create that here, and Ide has as well. But we also are extremely lucky men to have children with a support system.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
And that's the problem. Like, I really think that, your cousins, your you know, you should know your aunt and your grandparents and like where they come from. And I mean, shit, even to the lengths of finding people who are from the same places you're from, creating that community here in America as well, I think will go a long way for a lot of different people from different backgrounds.
I agree with that. I think that
we beat this one to the bone.
Yeah, I think that we definitely have beat this one to the bone. I think that Diamond has added valuable input from a female's perspective, and I know that female is offensive to feminists. So if you want me to call you woman or whatever pronoun you choose, I'll do that. Now, Dune, I do want to know your opinion because you happen to be in the education field, and that's a field that's dwindling as far as men having accomplishments in that field. I think that it's wrong as a person who went to college for secondary education. I think that it's wrong how much teachers actually get paid in today's society. I think that it's wrong how little teachers in general are compensated, but because of how little they're compensated, more men don't choose to go into that field because they know, shit, fucking, how am I going to get me a fucking woman? Diamond, you have to pick your what?
Oh, it sent that? Oops. I have to pick my cousin up from the airport. I was going to like sneak off quietly. I'm 30, so I don't know how to use chat rooms anymore. But okay, I have so much fun, guys, talking, but I have to go.
Oh, Diamond, good seeing you.
It was really fun talking.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
So, you know, Isaiah, it is tough. You know, I think so. It's funny, man. I had this recent conversation with a couple people just because I was looking at different. So I listened to this guy. His name's Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Kevin Samuels actually brings him up a lot.
Yeah, I think he's an incredibly bright individual. He has a lot of valid points. I don't agree with 100% of everything he says, but he does bring up a lot of points. And
dude, if you agree with 75% of what he says, then he is on the marker.
You know, so I would definitely look into him. Now, you know, he talks about a few studies, and then, you know, I obviously looked into it, and, you know, there's things that are dead and spot on, and other things that are still questionable. But anyways, I brought this up to some of my colleagues, and one of the things that we talked about is like what we value in society. And if we look how things have been socially constructed, like the fields of like social work, fields where your education, they're not paid as well. But when you look at it, those fields were typically for women, right? Whereas in the business world, it's more for men. Now, there's an easy argument to stump that and say, well, in the business world, there's goods and values. You can bring something, you know, you can sell a product. It's supply and demand and yada yada. But at the same time, one can argue and say, what you're giving to somebody's child, you can't just say that's not a supply, or that's not a demand. You know what I mean? You're demanding that education. They're getting educated. Now, am I saying the education world is perfect? Absolutely not. There's a lot of things that need to change, but there is that demand. Our kids need to be educated. You supply the education, so they should get paid more. I understand how teachers get paid. There are probably about 20 high schools in the state of Illinois, Isaiah, that get paid incredibly well. I mean, if you were to look at these top 20.
Yeah. Oh, how many high schools are there in the state of Illinois, though?
This is Illinois. I mean, I can name 5 off the top of my head.
No. I'm saying how many high schools are there in the state of Illinois? So what percentage is that?
I think there's over 700 maybe.
Okay, so out of that 700, less than 10%, less than 5% are actually getting paid incredibly well.
Yeah, you're right. So, so yes, I think you need to look into what area it is, and you know, like if you were to talk about the North Shore schools, those teachers don't have any room to complain. The average salary there is over 100K, dude. That's public info, right? You know, my school's very similar to that. OPRF is very similar to that. I mean, there are districts that pay their teachers well, because I think they see the value in it. I think it's really hard in the city because a lot of things are based on property value,
Right.
and things of that nature. So that does hurt, and it does suck because I can see people looking at it like, oh, they're just a teacher, you know, they're not a high value individual.
That's what I was about to ask you. How many women of today's society do you think would view you as a high value male based on your occupation?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I'm not sure. You know, I guess it depends on the woman too. I think some women actually see like, oh, the individual's educated. What does he teach? I teach chemistry, bio, and physical science. Some people may be impressed by that, others maybe not.
Way to feed the stereotype.
Right. I also, got my master's, so I plan on moving out and becoming a dean, and moving up the food chain and
The hierarchy.
Yeah, and maybe that's going to be more appealing, but I'm not doing it for anybody. Like I do me for me. I know where I'm at, and I
Okay.
don't care.
So how does this statement sound to you, dude?
Yep.
I'm a independent man. I don't need a woman.
I mean,
what does that statement sound like to you? What's the first thing that you think?
It's tough for you to get a woman. You just compensating.
Like, honestly, I feel similar.
Yeah.
Do you think that the way that we view gender roles in society plays into the way that we value people's participation in society? For example, if I choose, my wife is getting her master's now, and we have to make different financial decisions because she doesn't want to work while she does that. She wants to do that efficiently and not be juggling too many things. I understand, respect, and love that from her. But we can't buy a house automatically. Now we have to get a fucking building because we need to generate that revenue. Let's say she gets her master's degree and she's making $130 a year being a counselor. Do you think that my male peers would respect me if I was a stay-at-home dad?
Man, I guess it depends on the people, man. I think culture plays a huge role in that.
So based on Western culture, do you think that my peers would respect me?
Now, I think it depends on where you are. And are you in Chicago? Are you in the South? I mean, I think that then plays a role.
I'm in Chicago.
Chicago, I think dudes will be like, yo, you lucky, man. I think dudes in Chicago.
So, no. So I'm in Southern Illinois.
They'll say, who cut your balls off?
Exactly. So my manhood is diminished.
Yeah. So, but again, I'm generalizing, and I hate doing that because now if you look at the financial sector, right, in Chicago, guarantee you those men would be like, you probably also don't, you also got clipped. You know what I mean? I guess it just depends on who you're around.
But based on what you're saying, it sounds like the overwhelming majority of men would not respect me.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to say it.
And
as a man, they wouldn't respect you as a man. Maybe not as a person. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, you a cool dude," but you're just not a man.
That's hurtful. That's harmful.
Yeah. No,
I wouldn't go as far as to say that that's violence, but I've heard quite a few feminists argue that hurtful words are violence. I actually also think that, and this is a different conversation for a different time, but Dune, I would definitely like you to look up this woman. She published her first book in 1985. Her name is Shahrazad Ali. Shahrazad Ali. And one of her biggest proponents why she would be canceled today is because one of the things that she says a lot is that the conversation that Diamond and I were having earlier is, okay, we don't live in the time anymore where men can provide the overwhelming majority of the income. It's no longer men can provide fucking 90% of the income, 100% of the income, 80% of the income. But historically, women did not practice possessive love. And now women happen to practice possessive love based on colonizer influence. And many, many more relationships would work out successfully if women did not practice possessive love. She caught a lot of flack for that. I just think that you deep diving into her ideology would make for a very interesting conversation, because I like your perspective on things, because you don't just take my side. You don't just take the man side. You take the side based on the data that you receive. And you formulate an opinion based on that data. That is what I respect about your opinion. You and me have had fucking hours long arguments in fucking the DMs about shit, but the only reason that I go back and forth with you is because I respect your opinion as a knowledgeable individual who can assess data.
Yeah, I love having conversation with you because it gets me to think and do more. Now, I know we've talked about a lot of things, and since I have you guys here, I want to know Bruce's opinion, if you even have time to talk about this.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
The most recent shooting that happened with the young 15-year-old girl. I can't remember. Was it
the girl or the 20-year-old guy?
No, he's talking about the 15-year-old girl with the knife.
The 15-year-old.
Oh my God, this is new.
It happened the same day as the Chauvin trial.
Yes. So what was it? 3 days ago? 2 days ago? Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So
yeah, let's get Bruce's opinion first.
I would love to hear,
out here.
Bruce's thoughts on it. Bruce, do you know about this or?
Yeah, I saw the video in slow motion, and after watching it a couple of times, I think that in that instant, the officer probably had no choice but to shoot her, because it's the heat of the moment, and she was like going at her with the knife, like she was about to poke her up, like. So,
Bruce, just for the listener's sake, would you consider yourselves a thin blue line supporter?
No, I mean, I don't. I try not to get into the police versus
politics.
The people shit. To be honest, like I got good friends who are cops, and they ain't no different from
We have a joint great friend who is a fucking police officer, and we give him shit about it every time we see him. But at the same time, we understand that this man does a fucking difficult job, and it's easy to say no police officer should ever fucking kill a civilian. That's easy to say until that's your daughter about to get stabbed.
So when we come out talking like that, we ain't no different from an analyst that's analyzing a basketball game. Like you
they
get
don't
on
know
the
shit about basketball,
you get on
right?
the court and do it. You feel me? Like
right.
But nah, I saw that shit. It's like a heat of the moment thing where like the officer saved another life, but he had to take a life to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy how we get jacked up about the police doing it to people, but at the same time, like they got a tough job.
We don't get bent out of shape when fucking the gangbanger nigga we know from the neighborhood decides to clap up dude while he's with his little girl, and fucking his little girl gets hit and killed.
And man, the crazy part about that story is like the guy on the news, the dad is on the news talking about how the media is attacking his character, and how based on he kind of brought that energy towards her, because this shit flowed on the internet about how he was like pissing on his op's grave, like bro, that shit gon' I feel for that whole situation. It's a lot of crazy shit going on with that, but at the same time, back to what we were talking about, the police. Like if you want to compare this to the boy that just got shot, the 13-year-old boy that just got shot,
Adam Toledo.
Adam Toledo. Like if you want to compare this to that, um it's kind of almost the same, you know. Like that officer in that case had to he didn't know if he was gonna turn around and get shot, or you know, it was just crazy. Like what would you do in that situation, like that particular situation? Don't nobody know, or you know. So
So
how do you go about?
our mutual friend that is a cop, he says that he thinks that more civilians should be placed through simulation training to see how they would react. So that made me go and look up and watch on YouTube simulation training of civilians reacting to police scenarios. And the overwhelming majority of civilians in this simulation, regardless of race, the overwhelming majority of them dumped the fucking clip early.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I could see that happening, like, cause we just impulsive people, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to train the cop, you know how to respond in a situation like that, because every situation, you know, ain't nothing truly new under the sun. You feel me? Like, so they might be prepared for certain things, but at the same time, nothing can prepare you for, you know what I'm saying, like everything, you know. So um shit, you know, it's some cops that's better than others, and you know,
It's a lot of
it's just
cops that's
crazy.
better than others, but there's some target employees that are better than others. There's a lot of people in every single occupation that are better than others. So it's like, I do think to some degree we put unfair expectations on police officers when we have to realize that the overwhelming majority of these dudes and women are
normal, just like
there
me.
they're
For real.
fucking people getting a check and trying to go home to their family.
Simple as that. Like, yeah. So if you want cops like that, you need to just fucking hire the whole like Navy SEALs to be the cops. You know what I'm saying? Minus the trigger happy part. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, no, them guys, they'll know when to you know, go in and you know, make hard decisions, like, because they train for shit like that. You know, better. Like
That's
in
why
the
I was
instance with
hoping
the
Vino
girl.
hopped in tonight so he could actually give his perspective from a person from a military background.
Yeah, yeah. So in that instance, like, say for instance, we had like a Navy SEAL type trained police force in that situation with the girl with the knife, they'd have probably just charged her and got her out the way, you know, tackled her to the ground or some shit, like, you know, something simple just to, you know, not to fucking, you know, kill her. But I don't know, we got some, you know, some officers who on their last year of retirement, they don't want to deal with no crazy shit like that. Yeah, they're gonna take the easy way out, shoot them, and write up the paperwork, and you know, it's just some crazy shit. Like, so
Well, see, if I was on my way to retirement, you're a criminal. I know the way, you know, social media and everything's hunting me out. Hey, go ahead. I got 6 months before I got to retire. Nope. See you later, dude. That's what I would
right.
do.
Can I ask devil's advocate type question?
Let's do it.
Say when, like, and of course, like, rest in peace to this girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's police should not be the first thing to do is to shoot somebody, right? But like, what if she had stabbed the other girl and the policeman did not react the way he reacted?
Well, social media would have went insane. I think social media would have said, "Oh, the one time you're supposed to do something, you decide not to." You know, I think it was a lose-lose situation. I think it's unfortunate what happened, but I mean, you have to think about it. Like, this young girl had a knife and she was charging somebody else, and it was could have potentially killed her on the spot. So
Right.
the officer took the life of one to save another.
All right.
I do think what we need to do is there's a lot of things that need to happen. And I want to make it clear. Do I think people of color are often targeted more? Yes, I do think that. Do I think there's that I believe that police officers are just a band-aid in our society to the bigger systemic problems that we have, right? That are within our communities. We have to build our own communities. We need to have fathers in our lives and things of that nature. There's so much more that needs to be done. Even psychiatric help, mental health, right? I think all that stuff needs to be done, and cops are just a band-aid, and we're putting too much on police officers to handle, right?
I agree.
Man, we need to govern ourselves, man. We need to have better control of ourselves.
We call them for literally everything,
And to your point, Faradun, a guy that went to high school with us. He was telling me he's a CPD officer right now. We talk sometimes in the barbershop, and he was telling me, "What's that?"
Can you say his name, or you don't want to?
I'd rather not, but we can do Officer Estrada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that he was saying to me was he was telling me like sometimes he said semi-frequently he gets phone calls where people can't control their children and they call the cops and they're just like, oh, just scare them a little bit, put them in the cuffs, put them in the car. And he's like, I'm not gonna fucking traumatize your fucking child because you can't fucking control them.
Right.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's
True,
crazy
though.
as fuck. But then at the same time,
a thought, but it's crazy.
People ask this of him regularly. And we as society, it's easy for all of us to be like, a cop should never fucking shoot a 15-year-old girl. Okay, that's easy to say. When your 15-year-old daughter isn't the one that's about to be stabbed.
Yeah.
Because what happens then? How do you feel then if your 15-year-old daughter is the one who that cop saved her fucking life?
Yeah.
How do you look at the situation then?
He could have shot him in the legs or something.
That I agree
Yeah,
with.
but that's not how people are. That's not how people are trained. And I think David will tell you guys this best as a person who has his concealed carry. David, you're trained to shoot at the largest target on the body, correct?
Of course,
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
You shoot at the large, which is the torso.
It's that and your flight. I mean, look at the target practice. When you go shoot target practices, it's the top portion of the torso. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, you're just systematically going to aim for a bigger target. If you,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not going to.
No, it's common sense. Why would you aim for a harder target?
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
It's,
Like,
you know,
he could have
and
maybe
here,
shot
I haven't.
off in the air or
I
done
hope.
something like that,
I hope that I never get into any of that kind of action. I hope I don't. That I have to pull it. You know, I really hope I don't. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? But I have to defend myself as well.
I don't know if this is
You know what
already
I'm saying?
discussed, but they couldn't have used the taser.
That's very true.
Which brings us
Just
to
like-
the next conversation, right? Because he's asking about them using the taser, which brings us to I'm sorry. And this is not me being disrespectful. I just don't remember the brother's name right now. I want to say it was Deontay Wright. Do you guys remember the brother's name where the female officer killed him?
Yeah.
I'm not sure his name either, but he was 20 years old.
Duante.
Yeah, like Dante Wright.
I think it's Duante.
Yeah, it is. Duante. Yeah.
So here's my question to you guys then. In that scenario, right? And David, you're the only one here, from my understanding. I could be wrong, but you're the only one here with a concealed carry license. Unless Dune has a concealed carry license that I don't know about because he looks like he might.
No, not yet.
No.
Okay,
The kid was 20 years old. He was on the phone with I was watching an interview with his parents, and she said that they were on the phone because he called. When he got pulled over, he called his mom, and she was on the phone the whole time. And they were telling him to hang up the phone.
Right.
So I'm waiting to hear that audio. But you know what I'm saying? To me, as these people being officers, and I know they're just trying to get a check, they're trying to do their job, they're trying to go home, but they're trained to know what they have on them. You know, I know it's a fight or flight, fight or flight, reaction of a split second moment, and anything can happen. And to me, like, her saying that she thought she had to, she thought she pulled out a taser gun, but she literally let off rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like the taser gun is pretty bulky. It's distinguishing. It's huge. You know what I'm saying? It's not your firearm. That's where I asked another question, is that where was her taser and where was her firearm? Was it on the same side? Because I've seen,
I think what they do is like dominant side and weak side is the difference.
Right. But the thing is, I know a bunch of us have seen all the like downtown cops. Their taser, some of them, they have it on their chest, on their vest. You know what I'm saying? Like their sidearm is always on their dominant arm, on the dominant side or whatnot. But their tasers are always on their chest, because if you notice, they're always grabbing their chest. You know what I'm saying? Like they're always holding like I do it too with my jerseys here and there. The way you hold your collar to your neck. But that's, to me, as I'm hoping to ask a couple other trained officers too, like, that should be their first reaction, is to pull the end, but they're knowledgeable of what they're pulling because they're trained. They went to the academy for this. They're holding a weapon that will take down anything, a human being. Like, this isn't, we're not playing with Nerf guns here.
So you don't buy the whole story of them saying, like,
I don't at first, you know what I'm saying, because she's trained, but then she is trying to get a check, do her job and everything like that.
How many shots did he take?
I think it was a single shot.
Oh, it was just one shot?
Yeah.
The thing is, I seen the video and it was
sure.
in her line of sight for at least a couple seconds before she had shot.
Yeah.
I mean, the weight should have told her that it wasn't her taser.
There's a whole bunch of things. Right.
The gun is quite heavier. Like,
can I play devil's advocate?
That and Surety. I mean, it seemed like Surety had one in the chamber once they pull it out. You know what I'm saying? It's just.
Can I play devil's advocate in this situation?
In a sort of sense, that's why I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, where was her taser gun? You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, I seen like a bunch of downtown Chicago cops and a bunch of security ones. They have this. It's yellow. It's not. Some of them are black. Some of them have different colors. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's colored. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. That's why I want to know, where was her side, aside from her sidearm, where was this taser gun? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For her to think that she pulled it out, where does she have it?
Yeah.
I know it was absolutely wrong. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's complete. I know it's completely wrong.
Can we get Dune's devil's advocate?
What the fuck?
Of course we can.
So here's she was 26 years on the duty, right?
Yeah.
So how do we know? Let me preface this by her side or anything like that. I'm just trying to throw some scenarios out there for us to start just kind of thinking, right? Critical thinking, and not just jumping, gun on this topic. But if she was I think she was on duty for 26 years. How do we know she's on the tail end of her career? And oftentimes, don't they put officers that are on the tail end of their careers in nicer neighborhoods or in better places? I could be wrong.
Very true.
I have no idea.
Very true.
Someone can correct me.
No, it's facts. It's like that in Chicago, because I have a friend that was, when he started out young, he started out on the West Side. But the thing is that he loved it. He loved the action. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't mind running after anybody that ran away from him. He actually wanted them to run. It's odd and messed up to say, but you know what I mean? They do. They like, there's in certain, like in my neighborhood, I see a lot of older guys, just cruising around and just, surveilling everything. But then they do have younger, they do have all ages. It isn't just all the OGs are over here. You know what I'm saying? They have them. You got some of them out, and they don't. Some of the OGs don't even want to leave certain, their headquarters or wherever they started out. You know, unless they're getting a better pay or better promotion, or it's just a whole neighborhood thing.
Yeah. So let's just hypothetically assume, right, that she has been in better neighborhoods, and this just so happened to be her one time where she got the call. She's around that area. She decides to go there. If you've been out of practice, hypothetically, right? Is it not easy to say you could have gotten confused because you haven't done
Definitely.
this
Most
in so long?
definitely.
It's like muscle
Most
memory. If
definitely.
you haven't done something, you're out of touch with it, right?
Correct.
I also, but here,
Absolutely correct.
To a degree, what you're talking about is muscle memory.
So how do we know through muscle memory and all that stuff? It was just like a reactionary thing. Boom. She did not feel the difference in that weight because the difference is substantial when you pay attention to it, right? But if you had a 5-pound weight in your hand and you had a 3-pound weight in your hand, I guarantee you, I shouldn't say guarantee you, you're gonna feel that difference when you focus on it. If I cover the weight and I just tell you, hey, take a quick jog, you might be like, oh, okay, one is a little bit heavier than the other, but it may not be that distinct immediately. Color is obviously distinct, right? But but who looks, and realistically thinking, are you going to look at what's in your hand, or are you focused on the
When you're aiming a taser or a gun, you have to focus on the sights.
But couldn't you say that's done with muscle memory?
I mean, bro, I would honestly,
or are they not? Are you Gucci? When you were training, were you trained to look at the sights through your gun?
Yes, but I don't. But in great honesty, I don't need to.
You don't.
No, I don't. Me myself, I don't need to. And I know a lot of marksmen. I know a lot of guys that shoot. You know what I'm saying? It's better. It's better to look at the sights. I'm good with the sights. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you are trained to look at the sights. The question that you were asking, yes, you are trained to look at the sights. And I use my sights. But the thing is that I know where I'm going with this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. To me, that split second of putting my eyes and lining up the sight, I'm losing precious time of the
I feel like when you pick it up, when she picked it up, she would feel it's a different heaviness to a gun and to a taser. I'm assuming that a 26-year veteran in the force would. You think she'd feel the difference?
But you think, but the way what was your name again, bro? So I understand what you're saying about being on the first 26 years and not doing something for so long, because when I went to go play basketball with my cousin, I thought in my brain, I'm like, man, I could do my spin moves, I could dribble. I went straight to the hole, tried to do a spin move. I ended up tumbling. The ball flew. I tumbled 3 times on the court from the free throw line to the baseline. You know what I'm saying? I feel what you're saying, because I thought I can do my spin move like I used to 10, 20 years ago.
No.
Nah,
you haven't done that
bro.
spin move in a minute.
Nah, exactly why I tumbled. You know what I'm saying?
But
my mind was thinking it, but muscle memory wasn't there.
It doesn't apply to her because she's still active duty, right? Like she
Correct.
does this day in, day out. So it's not the same as you trying to go pull the spin move 20 years later, you know?
Right. Absolutely correct too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can feel, like I agree with all this, because it's
okay. So here's the question for you guys. Do you guys, this is a yes or no for everybody involved. Do you guys believe that she didn't know which firearm she was holding? Because I've heard police officers say that they don't think they themselves would have ever made that mistake.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that.
It's tough because
to your question, no, I don't believe it.
She sounded very like her voice sounded like she made a mistake, but it's hard to believe that you make that kind of mistake, man.
Right.
Like it's just good for me to see. Again, I'm not in that position. I don't know, but I'm an outsider. When I'm looking at it from that view, like, yeah, anybody can be good at acting, right? And she could be acting like that, but what if, I don't know, man. It's tough.
It seemed authentic to you.
It's very
it's
tough.
authentic.
No, it's very tough to be in that position.
To me, I just think
It's very
about it
tough
like
to be in
if
that
one of
position
us
or
did
to
that,
judge that
we'd be
position.
going to jail for life if we, you know what I'm saying? Or we'd be in there for a very long time.
So I think that's some of the issues that people have, right? I think what some people mess up, and this is what they say, like, how come people are protesting or marching when black on black crime happens and yada yada? And I kind of hate that argument.
I don't even like that terminology because
I understand.
crime happens in proximity.
Correct.
And it's an economic thing.
I agree.
You don't in rich black neighborhoods like Baldwin Hills in California.
Yeah.
People aren't robbing each other. There's not home invasions and fucking rich fucking but what they never talk to us, they always talk to us about inner city statistics.
Yeah.
They never talk to us about trailer park statistics. Show us the statistics of poor white people and what those statistics look like. Because if we had to look at those statistics, we would see a different America. So I don't like the concept of black on black crime or white on white crime. Crime happens in proximity, so it's based on where you live. I live in Rogers Park. People of all different races do all types of crime to all different types of people because that's who they live around.
No, I agree. I think what I was just saying is, and what I like to tell those people is like, the difference is citizens are held accountable for their actions, and all the citizens are looking for is, hey, we know the people that killed that 7-year-old girl. If they get caught, they're going to be punished to the full extent of the law,
and they should be.
And what we just want to see police be held to that same standard.
Right.
But we've moved into a place in society where police are almost infallible. It doesn't matter what they do. Derek Chauvin was only the 8th police officer to be charged with murder since 2005. The 8th one every year. And it doesn't matter how anybody feels about police killing black people, police killing Hispanics, police killing white people. Every single fucking year, police kill more white people than anybody else. Now, that being said, I would make the argument that, if you look at the data, that it seems like police get more violent with black fucking aggressors than anybody else. It's irrelevant, though, because the media only shows us one, and that is the biggest issue here. The media shows us black people after black person after black person after black person being gunned down by police. And in most of these scenarios, the police face no accountability for this. But they never show us. I've seen videos of the police dumping in a car with a white boy because he had like 2 ounces of weed on him. And he did try to pull off. But that shouldn't be a fucking death sentence.
Yeah.
But the media chooses not to show that because it doesn't fit the narrative of racial division.
Well, I mean, since you were already on it, let's just shift to, the big verdict that happened this week with Chauvin and, get everybody's thoughts on that.
That's it bad. I was surprised.
To a specific degree,
I thought Minnesota was going to burn down.
Justice. To a degree, this was justice to an extent. But to a different degree, I think that this was the pressure of society because they were afraid of the backlash. I think that Minnesota would. I think it would have been gone. I think that state as a whole would have not existed. Isn't Minnesota the same state where a couple of years ago that he was an African native, but he was an American citizen? He shot that Australian girl in her backyard. Isn't this the same place where that happened?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, me neither. I never heard of that one.
I don't know if y'all don't remember that case.
Anytime I think of anything that went on.
What happened to
the Laos guy?
You stopped mid-sentence.
Oh, the Laos guy that chased down these other guys because they were after him, and he turned it around and shot them all up in the woods. This was a while ago.
That's wild.
If a motherfucker chased me in the woods and I shoot him,
that's crazy.
I hope I'm gonna beat the case because the only situation in which I'm running in the woods is if some niggas are chasing me.
Shit, not even then. I'm running to somewhere where there's people. Like, fuck that.
So,
well, with all
let's
this, yes,
get
I feel it was justice.
let's
And
get
you're
final
right,
takes
because of
on
the
this one.
backlash of the public.
Let's get final takes on this one, because it's not like our opinions are going to change the scenario, but I would like to know everybody's opinions. Do you guys think that this was more so justice, or do you guys think that this was the justice system capitulating
Now
to
with the connection.
a situation where they didn't want shit to get worse?
Probably both. I think both can be true in this
I would
scenario.
have to say both, just because, like you said, a cop has been convicted of murder since what 2005, or the eighth one to get convicted since 2005, whatever. Because it's not often that a cop is found guilty in these type of cases, I would say it's justice, but at the same time, I feel like only because the attention that it garnered.
Yeah. And they still haven't said how many years he's getting, right?
No, he doesn't get sentenced for another 8 weeks.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Dune, how do you feel about this situation?
Man, it's tough. I haven't looked into it. I haven't read all of the information on it. I know he got charged with, it was 3rd degree, 2nd degree manslaughter, right? And
yeah, he got found guilty of 3 different charges.
3rd degree murder.
2nd degree murder, 3rd degree murder, 2nd degree manslaughter.
So, you know, I think one of the things that I think the general public doesn't know about is what do all the different degrees of murder represent, and what are the different levels, and what does it all mean, right? So for me, I just want any individual that goes through the justice system to be held accountable, and not it being like a mob mentality. You guys better give him all these years. Like, yo, we can't just do that, right?
Right.
We can't just be, you know, tyrannical in that sense. We got to be better than that. I know that there's been years and years of, you know, just unjust treatment, and it's always awesome to get that one win, kind of like the whole OJ Simpson thing, right? We can't get it like that, because I think that's just like a small band-aid for the community. I know I've said that before, but it's just like that OJ thing happened, and then look at all the other bullshit that still kept going on, right? We want to make sure that we hold everybody accountable every single time, and not just the one time to shut up the masses, right?
Right.
So I don't want this case, you know, for George Floyd being like, oh, well, we did it once, we can now let the next 15 or 20 murders go until the people have had enough and rioted again, and let's bring the next person up, right?
Yeah, but now I feel like lawyers, when, you know, they're trying to prosecute these types of cops, they have this case to bring up now, to where this cop has been convicted. So why isn't this one being convicted? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this case has been, you know, like exists in this way. It could be used in future cases, I feel like.
Possibly, but everything has to be a case-by-case basis. We can't use one case to justify something else, but we can use it as in the sense where, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking, because I'm not quite sure where I want to go with my statement, and I don't want to look like an idiot, you know, either. So I have to again do my research before I just start spewing my opinions if I don't have any backing for it. So I'm glad that some justice was given. I just hope that we can sustain the accountability, and it just not being another OJ case, you know?
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that was well put. I don't know. Seems like we touched on a lot of heavy stuff. Do you guys want to talk about something more light? Or?
Before we get out of here, I'd 2 topics that I want to make sure we hit. One is Lizzo's nudes, and 2 is DogeCoin.
All right.
I'm good on Lizzo's nudes. I'm not. Listen, you know, one of the things I want to make very clear is I'm not one of those people that talk, you know. I think as long as you live a healthy lifestyle, you do all that stuff, you're awesome, right? But I am kind of frustrated with this whole body positivity push that we have, and you're putting people that are severely and morbidly obese on covers and saying, it's almost like saying it's okay to be this. go ahead. You know, like
it's okay to be morbidly obese.
like it's not. We can't promote unhealthy habits. We already have 40 to 50% of Americans that are overweight to obese. That is just bad for human health and society. Insurance premiums would go up, and just a number of other things, right? I mean, even looking at COVID, isn't there data? And I would have to check, but I think I read an article that said people that
the overwhelming majority of people negatively impacted were fucking either overweight or had multiple different pre-existing conditions,
and it lasts longer with them.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I don't want to say too much because I know there's cancel culture, and I'm not.
It sounds unkind.
And it's and that's what it sounds like. And the whole DogeCoin, cryptocurrency seems like it's the new wave right now. A lot of institutions are beginning to adopt it, and the more that do, the stronger it's going to be. I think India actually said no, and India said that if you own Bitcoin, you have to sell. Or I think they're going to take legal action against you. So India, but I think India is known to make those drastic moves on that nature. But I think other companies have accepted it. Like I believe Tesla has, obviously. I think Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks owner, he accepts both Dogecoin and Bitcoin. But I know that there's issues. I think Bitcoin has a cap, whereas Dogecoin doesn't. I don't know the pros and cons yet, but as a joke, me and my buddies invested in Dogecoin like $15, dude. $15 back when it was worth like 0.0004 cents or something, right? It went up. And
it probably went up a bunch.
Yeah, from $15, you turn over like two to $3,000, dude. Imagine if I put $1,000 into it. It was a joke though. Like it was a joke. Like here's $20. Yeah, just.
Well, the whole crypto coin was a joke, right? Like,
but
the creators, the way they
the whole Dogecoin, Dogecoin was a joke.
Yeah, actually, the Dogecoin creator sold all of his Dogecoin before that shit blew up this year.
That's what I think. I think you're right on that. Yeah. So. Yeah, man. Those are those things. Before we go, if you guys don't mind, or even Isaiah, you can look into this. And because we were talking about Derek Chauvin, we were talking about police officers and all the things that are on them. But look at the Stanford case. There was a Stanford study years ago where it had regular people that were.
Oh, where they pretended to be COs?
Yes, they pretended to be COs.
And
right. And you saw that power corrupted these individuals. I believe
immediately, almost immediately.
So and I forgot. Gucci, you said this, that your boy loved being in the South Side or wanted to be in the West Side, just chasing people. Now, why would he do that, knowing that there's a risk involved? Is it because he knows he has power? When he catches them, he got a squad that he can call? We don't know. Could it be that it's a power thing, right? So do you guys think maybe there should be terms or like a term limit for police officers? After 20 years on the force, boom.
That's a good question, dude. And I actually broached this a long time ago on the podcast, where I think to some degree, for every 2 years an officer is out on the street, they might need to do 6 months or 1 year behind a desk just to fucking get the victim side. So that not every day, all day, are they getting the fucking worst of the worst of society. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I'm a person who believes in brainwash, both positive and negative. I think that if you listen to nothing but rap music and ratchet nonsense all day long, that's the mind state that you'll be in. But if you're a person who listens to nothing but positivity all day long, that's the mind state that you'll be in. I think it works the exact same for police officers. If every day you're dealing with the worst of society, you'll become jaded to community. But if, every so often you have to actually take a back end, take a seat, and fucking deal with the victims of this shit, then you'll be able to look at things a little bit differently. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's factual, but it's what I think.
Your environment definitely plays a role, right? Like we see that with kids, we see that with grown people. Your surroundings will definitely impact how you behave and how you feel. But you know, all we can do is just try to all better ourselves. I think the work all starts within, and then from there, once you're at least cool with you, you can help other people. You know, but to not get super deep, I did want to, before we end, I wanted to leave you guys off with this real quick. 1 second. Bam.
Ooh, zoom in.
You want me to zoom in? Oh shit. No, they won't allow me.
Hey, Dune, does that look like a sexy, healthy body to you?
Very.
Very.
Oh.
All right, so Dune, let's have a serious conversation because I know that you're from a specific culture in which I can relate to a specific degree. My dad's a militant Muslim. I grew up under a militant Muslim. And I don't know how much you know about Muslims or militant people, but they're both very into what's the word? The specific word that I would want to use is not. It's fucked up that I keep thinking dictatorship, but what I'm really wanting to say is discipline. And for example, right now we're in the holy month of Ramadan. Muslims across the world right now. For example, Eid is a Eastern European Muslim, and Eastern European Muslims drink all year round outside of Ramadan.
That's terrible. That's a terrible description, but all right, we'll go with it.
Is it or is it not accurate?
Not for all, but
not for all. There's a lot of Eastern European Muslims who follow Islam the same way as a lot of people, but the bulk of what I'm getting at is the simple matter of the fact is this is a time in which people of the world, because we got to realize it's like more than a quarter of the world is Muslim at this point. These people are all practicing extreme discipline. It is, as a person who understands discipline and does not always practice it, I don't make excuses for myself. So when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I don't blame it on X, Y, and Z. I don't blame it on external forces. I say I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. When I meet Muslims from all across the world and they talk to me like, "Oh, your dad's a Muslim. What do you do?" I tell them like, "Bro, I don't feel comfortable calling myself a Muslim because I don't do the things that Muslims are supposed to be doing. I don't discipline myself the way that I should." But I say all that to say, we all can discipline ourselves. It doesn't have to be religion. It doesn't have to be military. There is zero reason for a woman Lizzo's size. And I'm not saying any woman should be posing naked the way that she is. But what I am saying is, if you're going to be a woman that is posing naked the way that she does, at the very least, you should probably not weigh more than a man that is at your height. Like I have obesity is a big problem in my family. I have an issue with normalizing and promoting morbid obesity. I have an issue with that. And I understand that it's not popular to feel that way today. I understand that some people have issues, thyroid issues. They have all types of issues that makes losing weight difficult.
I always say don't use outliers, use the majority.
Right. Yeah. If we're basing things on the majority, the overwhelming majority of motherfuckers are just lazy and you don't want to fucking work out. And that's what it fucking boils down to. And I don't like the idea of normalizing this shit. So, okay, that is fine that you're obese and that you're comfortable with it. But let's not pretend that I have to say that it's beautiful.
Yeah, but it all comes right back to like just you having that self-control, right? Like what I was saying, like you can't help anybody before you help yourself, right? So
That's a
like
fact.
we know that there are, there's terrible things in our food. The shit we're fed off bat is just making us fat, right? But you can't even attack that issue until you have enough discipline to control yourself from not eating that shit because you know it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So like once you tap in, like you said, it doesn't have to be religion. It could be anything you tap into that just pushes you toward bettering yourself, or at least having the best version of yourself and how you see it, right?
Right.
At that point, like, man, if you think the best version of yourself is, I don't know, you're at 250, 300 pounds, I can't tell you nothing, but do I think it should be promoted or, no, because let's be realistic. Like, even when we spoke about relationships and how that shit goes, right? Like, your girl will see a girl living it up on Instagram on somebody else's money. If you don't got it, she's going to want it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're constantly attracted to what we see. And if we see these things being, amplified and made to look okay, then we should speak up about it. I don't think there's an issue. It's just, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, how about we do this? Why don't we begin to incentivize certain things? For example,
incentivize healthy lifestyles.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. We go to, let's say, Mariano's, right? I think most of us have heard of Mariano's.
I fuck with Mariano's. They got the best cookies in the world.
Mariano's, Dominic's, Jewel, I don't care, right? There's a set price on all products. If you are healthy, you have low, normal blood pressure, you're not diabetic, you don't have heart disease or anything like that, you get discounts on your product.
I agree.
So you're not hurting. So you're not discriminating against people that are overweight because this is the set price. You can get discounted price by living a healthy lifestyle. But if you don't, you still have the standard price. You're not going to charge them more because then you have to start thinking about socioeconomic and the disparity of locations of
Dude, where you would meet resistance on that is from people who tend to like accountability, but what they would say is, what about food deserts? What about the areas like where my mom lives?
Food deserts can't exist.
Food deserts are a real thing.
No, I know they're a real thing, but the fact that they are is an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, agreed.
Especially in a city like Chicago. You're talking about a major city in the world having food deserts.
Third biggest market in America, top 25 markets in the world.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously, we need to change those, but we incentivize these things, right? And then those also get applied to other areas like health insurance, right?
That's facts.
Edwin would have loved you bringing that up right now. I'm gonna cut out this piece right here just so that he can see that you brought this up, so that he feels shitty for not hopping on the live stream.
Yeah, and then so these are some of the things that I just feel like would promote in the healthy lifestyle and help society. Bill Burr, actually, you love Bill Burr, don't you? He said
I think that Bill Burr is like fucking extremely close, the closest thing we have to a white Dave Chappelle right now.
So he said it best. He's like, it's fucking hard to have your six-pack washboard abs, but it's easy as hell to be lazy and fat because it just naturally happens.
It's
everything
super
is like
easy.
that. Like, if you want to go buy veggies, the veggies cost a lot more than the bullshit that you can get in the candy aisle or
that's not even always true, and I don't like that we believe that.
It is though, realistically,
bro. But it's not. Here's the only reason that I say that. I agree with you that the overwhelming majority of junk food is by and large cheaper than organic fucking vegetables and fruit.
Right.
But at the same time, I drink a lot. I don't make any excuses about it. It is something that I do. It's a fucking problem. That being said, though, because I do that, I make it a point. I don't eat the amount of salads I'm supposed to eat. I drink green smoothies every fucking day. Kale, spinach, ginger, fucking a bunch of different fruit. I drink those things because I understand I'm corroding my fucking liver and kidney by drinking booze.
Yeah.
So I make it a point to drink those other things because realistically, it flushes the fuck out of me. I take multiple shits a day because I drink that shit. And I don't say that for any type of praise or nothing like that. I say that to say, if you're going to do the fuck shit that we all love to do, at the very least, do something to counteract it. And most people are not willing to do anything to counteract the fuck shit that they do.
Facts.
I
Balance.
fucking love White Castle.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
It's sick. It's a real problem.
It
To
be a
be
bigger problem
completely,
than the booze.
I
Yeah,
have been
facts.
there no less than 50 times since fucking quarantine. No less than 50 times. But I've also drank no less than 75 fucking green smoothie shakes that clear a lot of that bullshit out of me. Otherwise, I'd be fucking fat as shit, to be completely honest. Like, me drinking the smoothies makes me shit a lot. To be like, a lot of people are unaware of this, but most Americans, most people in Western civilization are sitting on like 20 pounds of shit in their stomach.
In your body, yeah.
That's what a lot of the weight that people are sitting on is. Just shit. I happen to do things that help me push that through. Not saying that makes it okay for me to do all the extracurricular activities that I do. I'm just saying.
Let's give it up for
I change
Isaiah's
up my
bowel
activities.
movements. He has great bowel movements.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I do have great bowel movements. But at the same time, like a lot of people shit every other day, 2-3 times a week type shit.
Yeah.
That shit's not normal, but a lot of American culture has normalized it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, man.
either way, DogeCoin.
DogeCoin, yeah, man. Shit. If you got in when it was early, it was good. If you didn't,
Hey, I bought that shit at like 4 cents.
yeah.
And I made some money. I sold it or whatever. And then I left some money in there just because I'm a hoarder by nature. So I just feel like I don't ever want to give up all of anything that I have. Half of my stocks are doing shit.
Mine too.
But it's also the time of year. If you invested in technology and shit like that, that shit ain't
Yeah, I
gonna
know
boom
that
until
it
August.
comes in cycles, yeah.
Right. But my crypto, for whatever reason, I have like 5 or maybe I have like 7 or 8 different cryptos. But in Robinhood, I have Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and DogeCoin. All 3 of which are popping for me right now.
Yeah.
And I don't pretend to know a lot about those, but anybody who's listening to the stream at this point, if you are interested in learning about cryptocurrency, go and listen to friend of the network. She's done an episode with One Light Records. She's done 2 episodes with Real Talk Chicago. Her name is Paige Flowers. She's a motherfucking monster. She teaches classes every day of the week where she is literally fucking teaching people how to create wealth. She quit her job over a fucking year ago and hasn't worked a goddamn day job since because of her crypto investments. Her name is Paige Flowers. I can't remember the name of her. Picasso, do you remember the name of her YouTube page right now?
No, I do not.
If you can find it, share screen on it when you do. But anybody who's interested in learning more about crypto, go and listen to this woman because she is a true queen. She is out here literally trying to teach people how to create intergenerational wealth. And me, as a person who fucking studies rich motherfuckers' habits, I understand that, look, working a 9-to-5 job has never gotten anyone rich. It's just not the way that wealth works.
Thanks. Isaiah, did you say you got in at 20 cents?
No, I got in at 4 cents, but because I sold and bought and sold and bought. Yeah. Oh, this is Paige's channel that he's sharing right now. Because I sold and bought and sold and bought, the average rate at which I bought now is 18 cents. But that's because I sold and bought and sold and bought.
It's at 20 cents right now. It went down.
It went down astronomically. It was at 40 cents like 3 days ago. But what the Redditors are saying is buy it at 20 cents before it goes to $1. Now that could be bullshit from the people who just want to sell it at fucking 30 and 40 cents.
Go back up again. It's like it's so easy to manipulate the market with like Dogecoin because it's all hype for the most part.
Now, now what you're saying is true, and this is one of the things that I wanted Dune's opinion on. Dune, I don't know if you're familiar with this guy. His name's Dr. Boyce Watkins. Boyce Watkins. He used to teach finance at Ivy League schools. He got sick, in his words, he got sick of white people's racism, and he doesn't view it any differently in the Ivy League arena than he does if you were working at Target. So he started like Black Business School. They're all encompassing. He just focuses on Black people first. Mm-hmm. That being said, one of the things that he said about Dogecoin, I shared it on Facebook today. He said the reason that Dogecoin is not a sound investment is because it isn't backed by anything like Ethereum. Ethereum, you know, the technology, at the very least, the technology will get you somewhere. Dogecoin isn't backed by a motherfucking thing other than the fact that we're all willing to buy into it.
Yep.
So he's saying, like, look, it's not a safe investment. It's nothing other than a reckless gamble. But that gamble could make you money. What do you think about that?
I mean, what is Bitcoin backed by?
Nothing.
What is Ethereum?
As far as I know,
Ethereum is backed differently because Ethereum heavily is indulged in the technology space. So there's certain technologies that will only move forward based on Ethereum's price point.
So the way I understand cryptocurrency, and by no means am I an expert, right? Like I said, I got into Dogecoin.
Nah, but you're the science nigga on the podcast.
So the way I understand it, they're not backed by anything. There's crypto mining that happens, and you get rewarded once you mine, and you own that piece of crypto.
Right.
Bitcoin has a cap. I believe it's like 21 million or something, and I believe Dogecoin has a cap of 100 million. There's pros and cons to.
There's no cap for Dogecoin, but there's a certain amount of transactions.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Yeah. There's no caps on Dogecoin, but there's a certain amount of transactions. I think it's up to 100 million or billion. Sorry, 100 billion.
Something like that. Yeah.
Whereas Bitcoin's at 21 billion. Now that I think that could pose a problem. Again, I don't know much about it because I haven't really looked too far into crypto. But you can look at it like, you know, a bunch of people mine it using these computer processors, so it's insane. And if you have one of them, you make a ton of money.
It also costs a lot too, because the amount of power that it takes to, you know, basically it runs on something called the blockchain, where basically Bitcoin is backed by the blockchain that it's on. Right. Blockchain in layman's terms is just basically each Bitcoin has a hash, which is basically like a number or a special code.
It's like a digital ledger for.
It's a digital signature saying this is this Bitcoin. There's no other code like this. This is its code.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it has all the other previous if this Bitcoin has been in any other wallets type shit. It's just a way to make sure that there's no other Bitcoin like this one.
Right. So do you guys think that we should continue to invest in Dogecoin, or should we look into other cryptos?
I definitely think other cryptos.
And Dogecoin.
And yeah, I'd say for people who already bought in, just like keep your money in there. It's not gonna hurt you. If you bought in at 4 cents, the likelihood of it coming down below 4 cents ever again is probably very low. But even if it does, you never know. It seems to react off of.
And just think about what you're losing. Like if you only put in $20, what's $20? That's what
Right.
two beers
Right.
at the bar. You're
right. You spend it on bullshit every day, but like in your case, later on that 15 turned into a couple thousand. Shit, that's kind of nice when you might need it. But I don't know, man. To me, this whole crypto thing is weird.
I think the smartest thing that you could do with crypto is, put your money into crypto, wait for that shit to go up, sell it at the highest price, and maybe save some in there too, buy at the dips, but take your gains and turn it into assets or silver and gold.
Here's the
Put
question.
it into something that will maintain its value.
See, that I like, but it's like, man, if there's like a cataclysmic event and you got 50 pounds of gold, shit.
That you can't access.
Well, no, you can have it at home, but I'm not carrying 50 pounds if I'm running for my life.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
What if the federal, what if the government just says, you know what, the hell with crypto, we're going to make our own crypto, we're going to regulate it, and it's only going to be ours, and we're going to say
now, Dune, here's a question to you based on that. I personally think that Bitcoin is the central bank. I think it
was created by the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, I think that they understand that the fiat currency that they've been running for the last 100 years came to an end. And I think that Bitcoin and crypto is their new move because it's a better look for them. Because worst case scenario, Akash said all crypto is back. Now,
what happens if the internet crashes? What happens?
Yeah. What happens if they decide to turn your shit off because they don't fuck with you like the Chinese government?
What
happens then?
That's what, bro. I'm fearful of that.
They won't do that. That's what it's backed by.
Because to me, like right now, even like I'm scared of just like my checking banking account, right? Because like Corona showed us that they could just shut shit down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now say you got all your funds tied up in a bank, even if it's a safe, or you got it on an account. Now you got to get to the bank. Say you can't get out of your house for some reason. Like I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not a believer in keeping cash, but man, at times like these, you kind of almost gotta keep the most secure.
You gotta think about it. Shit, you gotta think about it. Like
Akash said, formula. We're gonna need you to be a little more specific, Akash.
Yeah, Akash, you're gonna have to hop on the next stream, bro, because and how come every fucking Desi dude named Akash has the nickname Cash? I don't know, like, if you guys know that, but that is fucking accurate, dude. I'm pretty sure you know a handful of Akashes. Like, all of their nicknames is Cash.
I know a couple of Akash. I don't know if their nicknames are Cash. I never asked them for their nicknames, man.
Akash, there's the link, man. If you want to join.
Bro, I've invited Akash to the goddamn podcast so many times, and this motherfucker is a watcher. He is not a joiner.
Hey,
and I don't feel no type of way about it.
Nobody can say like we were ducking smoke for some reason,
Right. I don't feel no type of way about it. I'm just calling him out, talking shit so that he feels obligated to join.
Facts.
And I like to do that to people.
Word. Yeah, man. I don't know. You guys.
Look. Bruce hasn't said shit in about an hour and a half, so I want to hear his opinion because I know he's been researching crypto.
Yeah, I've been playing around with some Ethereum, and I actually made a couple of NFTs. It's been going up every day. Like every day it jumps. Like I look at it.
About that.
You say what?
I just wanted to ask you something about that when you.
Yeah, for sure. But I just been putting in with Ethereum, and I've been researching how to mine it. Just no like updated videos on how to work with like the updated.
So you're saying we need to make content where motherfuckers are explaining the updated shit.
Yeah.
That's vital because you can go in and try to go and mine for some Ethereum, and your steps is all wrong because they got a whole new.
You're gonna need some type of like supercomputer to do that in a power source because
and it'll go super
running
slow
it
with just one
computer,
computer.
it's way too slow to where it's
Yeah.
even efficient.
Yeah. I mean, some people game on their PCs and shit. You know, if you could set that up, like it's the same way. You know, and I feel like with this technology, people gonna be getting paid to play games in the future, bro. Like
that's a
Why
fact.
not? Why not? We just had Black Gaming League on the podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Shit, fuck.
Hey, Dan, you had a question for Bruce.
Yeah, no, I just seen that you posted your NFTs, and that made me be like, oh yeah, I should probably get some of my NFTs going.
Dan, it's so weird that you're so extremely talented musically and soulful music, but you look the way that you do.
Understandable. Okay, I'm gonna move past that. So,
thank you.
Okay, basically, I had to pay $80 that I didn't pay because I didn't have it to update just like a picture, and that's just the gas fee of
the
like
gas fee. Yeah, so that's the thing. The gas fees be you gotta like watch the traffic. They call it traffic. Like so when it's a lot of what they call them like workers mining Ethereum, the gas fee is gonna shoot up real high. So you gotta like stay up in the middle of the night, crazy hours, you know, just to know when to like, you know, try to confirm certain things and shit like I made the first NFT I made. I couldn't get it fully processed until I let my Ethereum build up a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to just let it sit for like a week, and then you know I put it through. You know, but at the same time, it's like you gotta keep an eye on that shit, bro. And it's kind of like you know it's overwhelming sometimes because it's like, man, I don't know. I'm just too fascinated with the shit, to be honest.
Bruce, you're saying that you need to have Ethereum in order to sell your EFTs or to get into an EFT?
NFT.
NFT. Sorry.
Create an NFT, you need to what they call like gas fee it. With Ethereum.
To do it, are you on OpenSea?
No, I'm on Rarible.
Oh, okay. There's
Rarible.
different sites that are basically like the Amazon for NFTs, where they have a bunch of NFTs on there. This is a huge marketplace for that.
Okay. So next week I'm like she's been busy lately, but she told me she's with the shits to come and do, you know, really teach the listeners. I told Paige that we need her back on the podcast to really talk this crypto shit.
Hey,
she
that'd be
teaches
dope.
she teaches these classes. And I don't know if you guys have ever gone back and listened to our episodes with Paige in the past, but to be completely honest, she dropped a lot of gems about crypto way back when, before anybody was really fucking with crypto. Now, crypto is like a new popular wave, but she was dropping gems about crypto on our podcast 2 years ago.
It is not decentralized anymore. That's a fact.
Yeah, and that was one of the things she talked about. Like, she definitely talked about the fact that fucking the central banking system could be controlling a bunch of this shit. But it is what it is, and at this point, fucking, what are we gonna hold on to? US dollars? These shits ain't worth nothing other than the fact that we will bring your motherfucking ass some democracy. Right. That's all that the US dollar is worth. The fact that we got big ass guns and we'll bring you some democracy.
Hey man,
it's crazy because I don't know how to convert the Ethereum back to USD. Like I'm just letting that shit build.
You could do it in you just got to put your money in a wallet. So like Coinbase is a wallet. There's a few.
I don't like
wallets.
Coinbase or Robinhood, and those are the two I use.
You pretty much saying like you need a wallet for your wallet.
So you'll transfer your Ethereum onto one of these platforms like a Coinbase or Robinhood, and then you'll have account link, like a linked bank account.
So your bank account,
and then you could transfer that Ethereum into dollars that goes
through ACH transfer. That's what he's talking about, ACH transfer.
Okay, I got an Ethereum wallet, and it's just so I just don't understand the language of it. But
yeah,
you know.
No, man, it sounds like Paige would be a good episode for us to do. Let's definitely lock that in.
We definitely need to get that done. AI, is there any topics that we didn't hit on?
I think we got all of them. Did we talk about the BLM founder with the house?
Long story short, we're gonna do this super quick. Long story short, Black Lives Matter, the organization, not the ideology, the organization pulled in, if not hundreds of millions, then tens of millions of dollars over the last year. And one of the founders, who's a socialist Marxist, by her own words, she's a Marxist socialist. She has purchased millions of dollars of real estate in luxury areas. The reason that she's under fire for this is because if you're a Marxist or a socialist, then forget the fact that maybe she didn't pull all those funds from the money that was donated to Black Lives Matter. But at the end of the day, you have book deals, you have deals for this, you have deals for that. If you believe in socialism and you believe in Marxism and you believe that wealth should be shared, why the fuck are you spending fucking millions of dollars on residential cribs in luxury areas unless all that those cribs are going to homeless motherfuckers that need it or fucking broke motherfuckers that need it? Like, yeah, I think it's weird. I think that these women are fucking full of shit in a lot of different ways. I think that their acknowledgement that they would like to disrupt the nuclear family is way more concerning than people actually acknowledge and realize. I think that they have no fucking positive intentions for the black community, that is the community that they're so-called looking out for. I think these women are pieces of shit. Me personally, my views are not the views of Mogul Minds Network, nor are they the views of anybody who happens to do the podcast. Those are my views. I think those bitches are pieces of shit.
There you have it, folks. Yeah, man, I don't know. If she got her money like without using people's pain, then cool. If she did the reverse, then that's fucked up, man. Like, to profit off of something like that is crazy. But I
think it's weird that Mike Brown's family is suing them.
Yeah, I don't have enough information for me to talk about this. But again,
that's fair. That's fair.
That's crazy.
And I know that that's the stance that Dune takes on most things when he hasn't done the research himself. But Dune, if you do the research and you decide to hop on next week, I'd definitely like to know your opinion, sir.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I'll look into her. I saw a quick thing on like Instagram where it said it, but I didn't pay too much attention to it.
Look into Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm pretty sure you can separate he focuses on black first because he's a black man, but I'm pretty sure you could appreciate the value and the lessons that he teaches, especially him being a former Ivy League finance professor.
Facts. Yeah, man. I think we covered everything. I just want to leave off with first saying thank you to everyone who came to the comedy show. Thank you to everyone who came to the One Light concert for making those events what they were.
Thank you to everybody who hopped on the stream tonight.
Absolutely. We definitely have a lot more planned, so you'll be seeing a lot more from us as far as events go. And also this content. You know, we just did an interview with at Shop Williams. He's a
Shoplift Williams. He's a fucking Detroit artist. He was a dope fucking interview. We had a lot of fun, and he also said that he thinks that Kendrick is one of the most overrated fucking artists out there.
Yeah, he did say that, which was wild, but you know, we're gonna let him get away with it. Check that episode out. Definitely a good one. We got some footage of him in the booth coming. You know, we'll present that some other way. But yeah, any last words, guys? Let's get this over with here.
I appreciate it, man, because I got to get going anyway. So I appreciate you guys having me on here. I was just talking the talk, you know, and just shooting the shit, you know.
Yeah.
We always like to have educated individuals here to push against our opinions about things.
For sure. And to base this conversation more in solutions and not only in problems, you know,
right.
I think having individuals such as yourself and everybody actually a part of the network, we all bring a different aspect and a different perspective of life to this thing. And, you know, I think it makes us all the better for it. Yeah, Bruce, what's up? What you painting, man? You got some new shit coming out?
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, dude. You have a good night.
Yeah, man. I'm just working on. You can see in the back some little pieces, some personal stuff. I'm actually gonna put together a sports series of all great players who wore the jersey number 21. So I got a Sammy Sosa in the works back there. I'm gonna do a lot of great
Hey,
players.
Bruce, before you move past that, let's be honest for 1 second.
Do
you think it's weird that Sammy Sosa not only bleached his skin, but in addition to bleaching his skin, fucking bro, like, look, the skin bleaching is weird to me. I just want to know your opinion on it.
Hey, look. I try not to look into light skinned Sammy. You feel me? It's like Michael. You feel me? Like I love Sammy Sosa. Growing like he was like literally like a hero to me. So when that shit happened, I knew why he did it. He just wanted to make sure he got into the Hall of Fame, I guess, because he kind of tainted his career.
You don't think that he could have gotten into the Hall of Fame being dark skinned Sammy Sosa?
Not with
the asterisk next to his name.
Exactly. No, he got the cork bats, and then he just come up in the steroid era, you know. So,
me personally, I do think that they should just let baseball players do steroids. I think that it makes for a much more fun game.
Hell yeah.
I think that they need to just let them niggas do steroids, bro. Like I don't know.
What's crazy is it'll be a lot more home runs if
Hell yeah.
players was on steroids, just off a simple strength that the pitcher will be throwing the ball a lot stronger.
Let the pitchers do steroids too.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
And man, it'll be fucking nuts.
Outfielders, everybody. I feel like as long as you don't got a bionic arm or leg, then you should be able, like, as long as your body is not half robot, you should be able to do whatever the fuck steroids you want to do.
Hey, maybe we'll see in the future. But I think all of this cop killing shit is for them to, usher in RoboCops in the future. Feel me? Like,
it's funny you say that. Hey, Bruce, when we hop off this stream, look up robotic police in Dubai. That's a thing already.
Oh yeah, it's happening. It's gonna come.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh no, it's over with. As soon as Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast and said he want to put Neuralinks in motherfuckers' heads, it was already over with at that point.
Facts. Man. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm tired of talking to y'all. I want to go.
Peace, man.
All right, guys. I appreciate every single fucking one of you guys. For anybody who listened to the podcast tonight, go and check us out, mogulminds.net/podcast, mogulminds.net. If you want to support us, the Cash App is at the bottom. And you can always go to our fucking store, buy any of our dope ass fucking gear, mogulminds.net/merch. If anybody got anything to say outside of this, I just ending the stream right now. So go to the mogulminds.net, hit the About Us section, let us know who needs to be interviewed, let us know what needs to get done next. Much appreciated, guys. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Love every single one of the listeners.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, there it goes. Mogulminds.net. Go check it out. I can't even speak no more, bro. Picasso, play some shit for us. Let's get out of here. Come on.
That's you.
And some shit.
Make sure to listen to this song to the very end for a special surprise. David trippin', 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 David trippin'. I was on the trip, I was on the trip. Shawty show me this, tell me what that is. Shawty say me crystal, shawty show me all that. Shawty G on bullshit, what the fuck you call that? What the fuck you want? What the fuck you want? What the fuck you want? Like what the fuck you want? We just keep on dreaming. This is like we living. No time to make decisions. We gotta go and get it. So bitch, she wanna hit it. I don't wanna hit it. She never wanna listen. But bitch, know this my mission. Yeah, we been tripping, 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 tripping. We been tripping, 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 tripping.
We've been tripping. Yeah, we've been tripping. He told me, don't go hard on it. So I didn't. Yeah, we've been tripping. We've been tripping. Support your local business. I told them that we tripping. Wait.
How are you feeling right now? He got off, I think he just us left on the street.
This song is over, and the people ain't gonna listen.
For real. Everybody's gone.
Shout out anybody who's here. Anybody who's here for the special surprise.
Hey, we about to do the Dirk or Dirk challenge.
It was a pleasure.
Shout out to Young Dirk, Lil Dirk.
One night.
Peace.
Shout out One Light.